Good evening, baseball fans from all around South Australia, and around the world, and welcome to Baseball SA and Spacequake Sports production of the Division I Women's Grand Final. I'm Eric Balnar, calling all the action tonight between Glenelg Baseball Club and the Southern Districts Baseball Club Hawks, and I'm pleased to welcome our color analyst making his broadcasting debut. It's the South Australian women's state coach. He's an ABL player, professional baseball player, and head coach of the Kensington Cardinals Baseball Club. Welcome, Austin Gallagher, in for a big night of baseball.
Very excited, Eric. Two very good teams, rightfully so, being here, and very excited to see the action.
Well, Glenelg has been dominant all season long. In fact, they've steamrolled opponents 174 to 39, but Southern Districts, they've got better as the season's gone on. They've had a strong 2021, and they've won 2 elimination games to get to this point. It feels like Glenelg's the favorite, but that might not be the case.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Eric, is when you're coming in, anything can happen in baseball. And what matters is when you make a finals push is catching fire at the right time. And, you know, with all the exciting victories down the stretch that Southern Districts have had, it looks like they've caught fire at just the right time.
The woman on the mound for Glenelg, is you see her, that's Jess Maslin in shot right there, taking the final pitches from the starting pitcher in Bianca Smith. Now, she really took over the starting pitcher job at the turn of the calendar after Christmas, where Glenelg has been undefeated. She's only allowed a couple earned runs. She's one of the state team players. You coach her, this is going to be the woman that Southern Districts have to get to.
Oh, absolutely. Outstanding pitcher, outstanding work ethic, and the thing that makes Bianca so dangerous is not only does she throw and locate her fastball very well, but she's got excellent off-speed pitch with her slider and changeup as well that she can throw any time of the count.
She's going up against a really plucky Southern Districts lineup, and we're moments away from getting underway at the Division I Women's Grand Final, and Bianca Smith delivers the first pitch. That's just outside for a ball. Abby Jorgensen, a young player that she's facing, and she's an up-and-coming player with tremendous speed. And she hits this over towards second base. Bobble just a little bit, throw to first. It's gonna be a close play, and she makes the out. Jackie Dunn over to Dana Aldwin, and that is the first out of the game, 4-3.
Very good play right there by Jackie Dunn, and the experience goes to show on that play. Didn't panic, ball took a bad hop, hit right off her body, and was able to recover and handle and make that first out.
And you can see the speed of Jorgensen down the line, making that a closer play than what it might be for somebody else. Sarah Short batting second in the lineup. We'll get to the lineup in just a second as this delivered for a pitch. Tash Straps follows, batting third. Ellie Tucker fourth. Deb Hutchings fifth. Suze Doyle sixth. Kat Whittison seventh. Wendy Backman eighth. And Kira O'Brien lines out the lineup. Taking a couple pitches here. Defensively, here's how the infield lines up from left to right. Third base, Alice Prokopek. The Dunn sisters holding it down in the middle. Shortstop Jenny. Second base Jackie Dunn, who made that last play, and the first baseman Dana Aldwin as Bianca Smith gets ready on the 1-1 count. And this is ripped over the head of Prokopek into the outfield, and Sarah Short has the first hit of the Division I Women's Grand Final.
Wow, outstanding piece of hitting right there. Took a couple of pitches and set the tone, got the barrel out, and you know, since her return, she's really been a catalyst of this team, and Southern Districts are very pleased and excited to have her back.
Tash Straps batting now is just finish out the outfield here. Jenna Handy, Erin Harris, and Lucy Mitten are your outfield for Glenelg. Straps sets in. She's got a runner on base. And Gally, you said before the game that in a field that's this big, especially in the women's competition, the outfielder is actually going to play a really big role in this.
Oh, you're very much right. Positioning and also how you can maintain trying to keep those batters from an extra base, but also those balls down the line. Those balls down the line become dangerous on a field like this where those doubles can turn into triples. And
Tash Straps lifts one high into the air. This one heading into short and left. Kind of lost in the sun, and it's going to be a base for Straps, and Sarah Short moves into scoring position. And right on cue on the outfield chat, this is what happens.
And you're exactly right. I mean, the conditions here at West Beach are always windy. You just don't exactly know where that wind's going to be, and most of the times it blows in. So the key is that the middle infielders, and they just don't give up on those balls to the outfield because they can blow back quite a bit.
Ellie Tucker steps up. She was a member of one of the teams when the Women's League first started 6 years ago here, and she's played ever since, and she's a big bat. She's been on the state team before and was a valuable member and maybe the hero of one of their elimination final games. Gally, can you believe it? In a tie game in an elimination final, she lays down a squeeze that lifts the Southern District's Hawks over Woodville.
That's unbelievable. I mean, that's one of the most exciting ways to win a baseball game, and for somebody that's a big hitter, leading the team in RBIs, to come up and to lay down the small ball to take advantage and to win a game for your team, it's very unexpected, and it's very risky but very high reward play as well.
0-1 count. She just watches that one in over the plate. Doesn't like it too much, and neither do the Southern District supporters. Ben Short is the coach of the Hawks, and he'll take sometimes what might be an unorthodox approach to it, but it's won this team games and got the women fired up for the season.
Yep, and that's baseball, is good pitching and defense is what wins games, but offensively, any way that you can create runs, whether that's bashing the ball, playing small ball, moving runners, whatever it takes, and especially at this time of the year, they'll take the wins whenever they come.
He had a lot of good things about Ellie Tucker to say, saying that maybe it wasn't her standard of year with the bat that she's accustomed to, but she's a big leader on the team and still producing in those big moments.
Yeah, and
0-2 count, chopped over to second, Dunn flips to one. Can she get the double play? And Ellie Tucker beats it out. It advances runners to the corner. Jackie Dunn tried to turn the double play with her sister, but it'll be the first real scoring opportunity here as Straps is retired and Tucker goes to first.
And once again, the panic not setting in, being able to still get that lead out is very crucial, because anything could happen there. And obviously with runners on first and third and 2 outs is a lot better situation than bases loaded with 1 out.
Deb Hutchings, the veteran, sets in. Runners on the corner, run's gonna come at a premium. Glenelg doesn't allow a whole lot of runs. They've got a great 1-2 punch in Bianca Smith and Alice Prokopek, so Ellie Tucker basically gets a free bag moving to second. So anytime you have 2 runners in scoring position, you have to capitalize, especially in the grand final.
Oh, that's right. And especially with a pitcher like Bianca, these opportunities are gonna become few and far in between.
1-1 count. Bianca Smith, one thing that they were saying, has got her walks down, especially in the last half of the year. You really like her slider.
Yeah, it's a very, very big swing and miss pitch for her, and biggest thing is just getting ahead in the count so that she can utilize that pitch as much as you can. There it is right there.
And you can see Hutchings almost just trying to lean into that, thinking about it, but just watching it tail away. Smith's worked a lot with Matt Williams, a former Team Australia pitcher, Adelaide Bite pitcher, former longtime minor league player with the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, if you're going to learn a slider, pretty good guy to learn one off of.
Maybe he's watching tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Fouled away. Brings the count 2-2, meaning Glenelg's just a strike away from getting out of the inning. The top of the lineup is where they've done the most damage with Jorgensen, Short, and Straps. They put themselves in a scoring position here, but they're going to need an unsung hero to bring someone home. Just hangs outside. It's going to bring the count full. Runners are going to get a jump. Big moment early on with runners on second and third.
And that's the off-speed pitch we were talking about as well. Very tough to recognize and very tough to put his good swing on.
Hutchings stays alive. The Hawks know that against a team like Glenelg, they're going to have to take advantage of almost every opportunity given to them. This one going to be put into play. It's in foul territory. Having a look was Dana Aldwin and Lucy Mitten moving over. That drifts foul, so it's turned into an 8-pitch at bat with 2 outs.
What a battle. I mean, this is just a prime example of the resiliency that this team has had, especially down the stretch. Just that never say die and always fight and compete attitude. It's awesome to see.
Hutchings puts one up the middle, and it's gonna fall. It scores a run, and Deb Hutchings delivers. It's 1-0 Hawks.
outstanding piece of hitting right there. Just spoiling very good pitches by a very good pitcher and waiting until she got a pitch over the middle of the plate and took advantage of it with a great RBI single right back up the middle. That's very well done and an outstanding piece of hitting.
That has to be encouraging for the Hawks. Bianca Smith's only allowed 2 earned runs in 2021, and just like that, they've got 1 in the top of the first.
And that's huge for their confidence going into this game, because especially when you're going up against a juggernaut like Glenelg, anything that you can do to put runs on the board early, it just takes that jitterness away and puts confidence in your lineup.
Doyle, that hits the runner, so that is going to retire the side. That's an unlucky break, as that goes right into Hutchings. So unfortunately, that is how she'll go out, a hit runner. And that will end it for the Southern District's Hawks. But 1 run on the board, that's the early start they need.
That's huge. To capitalize on a couple of those plays and balls falling, outstanding to get that first run on the board. And like we said earlier, that last at bat by Hutchings, what an outstanding 8-pitch at bat, coming up with an RBI single up the middle to put their team ahead. Very well done. So now just wait to see what the response is for Southern Districts, and from their point of view, hopefully hold them here.
Well, before we talk about the pitcher for Southern Districts, let's take a moment to marvel in the season of Glenelg. 174 runs they scored. 174. That's not a typo. They only played 14, 15 games this season, going 14-1. 174 runs, they've only allowed 39. These are the kind of scores they've won games by. 14-4, 17-1, 10-0, 20-1. They beat Southern Districts 14-2. As of late, other teams are closing the gap on them, but make no mistake about it, this Glenelg team is potent top to bottom.
Yeah, and you're exactly right. Just filled with a lot of talent and a lot of experience all throughout. And their key to the game is not getting outside of their game. They have the pitching, they have the defense, they have the hitting, and just try to stay within themselves with the stakes that are on the game, this being a grand final, and just trying to not step outside of that box.
They've only lost 1 game all season. They have yet to be beat since Christmas time, and this is how the batting lineup will go. It's Jenny Dunn, followed by Jenna Handing, Alice Prokopek, Jess Maslin, Bianca Smith. There's 4 state players right at the top. Erin Harris, Dana Aldwin, Jackie Dunn, and Lucy Mitten rounded out. The pitching is going to be very important here, and they do have a state team pitcher on the mound, and it's someone that you really like.
Yeah, Maddie Schmidt, she has had a tendon injury with her hand and has been able to come back after Christmas, and just ultimate strike thrower. And the success, I think, for Southern Districts leading up into this game is how effective and how many strikes she can be, because with Sarah Short behind her and the relief pitching that has been very successful, she's, in my opinion, going to be the key to their success today.
Defensively, Tash Straps at third, Sarah Short at short. Short at short, I like that. Deb Hutchings at second, Ellie Tucker at first, Backman, Jorgensen, and Whittinson, that's left to right in the outfield. And the woman that just caught that first pitch is Kira O'Brien. This is a state team to state team battery here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And you have a lot of talent on the field, so you're going to see some good pitching, you're going to see some good plays, you're going to see some good at-bats and good hitting. The question is, and the winner, in my opinion, of this game is going to come down to the team that makes the fewest amount of mistakes, and the team that's going to win is the one that capitalizes on those mistakes. So, like I said, lots of talent on the field and a lot of experience, and that's what's going to push the victor to the edge.
Well, in the last half inning, you saw Southern District score on a lot of soft contact. That's taken advantage early.
That is. You're exactly right. And especially at West Beach, you just can't take anything for granted. And, with those balls up in the air, it's very tough, and really anything can happen in that swirling wind. So look for some exciting plays and some exciting at-bats today.
Jenny Dunn, very athletic player, just gets jammed a little bit. Schmidt looking for it, and that falls in, and that's going to get knocked foul, and Jenny Dunn gets aboard.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. In a regular circumstance, without that wind, that probably just lands on the pitcher's mound, but the wind pushed it, and unfortunately for Southern Districts, they made contact. So that ball just nestled and counted as a fair ball. And now you got speed on the bases. So Glenelg looking to take advantage of that early.
And Jenna Handy up to bat. She's been involved with the women's program since it got rebooted 5 or 6 years ago in SA2. And there's the speed of done, and she just steps in easily. Kira O'Brien tried to make the throw, but it's a runner in scoring position. A team that generates offense, it seems like, at will all season long.
Yeah, you're exactly right there, and it's a scary offense behind him, and that's why for Glenelg, they're a very successful hitting team. You've got a lot of players that have almost double RBIs than games played. So the key is, like I said, for Southern Districts is to take care of the baseball, pound the zone, and for the fielders to make the plays.
Glenelg's lost one game all season. It was a 6-5 game to start. It's a game where they only scored 5 runs, the lowest output of the total, and allowed 6, their highest of the total. It usually adds up to a loss when those two things happen, but it was only 1 run. So it's going to have to be something similar today for Southern Districts to have a real shot.
That's it.
Good pitch there, forces Jenna Handy to swing. Brings her to 2 strikes.
In a position like this with a runner on second base, less than 2 outs, you're looking as an offense to move that runner to third base, so look for some hitting to the right side here.
This one fouled away.
And that's a good fight. That pitch was low, she was protecting the plate, and that's a good piece of hitting to try to stay alive for another better pitch.
A lot of protection in this lineup. Alice Prokopek and Jess Maslin follow Handy in the lineup, and those 2 women have been monsters all season long with the bat.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Alice, arguably her best offensive season of her career, with 29 RBIs in 15 games, and then the hitter right behind her who's played for Australia as well, having Jess Maslin having 35 RBIs in 15 games is just outstanding piece of hitting, and all a credit to the batters at the top of the lineup for getting on base and giving them opportunity.
Yeah, you can't drive in runs if there's no one to drive in.
You're exactly right.
Good pitch, just hugging the inside, though. It makes it a full count. Patient at bats early in this game.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And these are the little battles early on that can make or break the rhythm of the game. So very big pitch coming up, and this could very much determine the runs put apart for this inning. Staying alive.
We've seen that with runners in scoring position. You think back to the Deb Hutchins at bat in that last half. She had, what, 8-9 pitches in that? And now it's the same thing here from Jenna Handy.
It's incredible. And that's a very good piece of hitting is, when you get into a 2-strike count, you just want to shorten up and try to put that ball in play. And for these girls to battle and not get too big in their stance, they're doing the exact right thing.
And she rings her up on strikes. A big pitch from Maddie Schmidt. It's the first strikeout of the game and the first out for Southern Districts.
Yeah, it's an outstanding pitch right there, especially as a batter when you're trying to move the runner over and hit the ball to the right side. To come inside and on the pitch before miss just by a very little bit and then come back and hit that corner in the inside part was a great display of pitching, and now it's up to the middle part of Glenelg's lineup to drive this run in.
Can't take your foot off the gas because Alice Prokopek stands in the batter's box, and she's had a big season. Like you mentioned, 29 RBIs on the year. State team versus state team battle. Alice was named on that initial roster for the Australian Women's Baseball Showcase. You've worked with her one-on-one before too.
Yep. And one of the biggest things we've been working on that she's really taken into her game is driving the ball the other way. And speaking with her in particular, a lot of her doubles and triples and her power has come from right center to right field. So look for her to take advantage of that.
That's where the outfielders might come into play on a blustery night at West Beach too. That's how Jenny Dunn is standing on second. It was a jam shot about 7 feet in front of her, and she reached the base.
That's it. That's why right field is very tough here at West Beach, because it either blows in or blows across, and a lot of things get caught up down that line that turn into doubles or triples.
Yeah, and it could be 2 outs right now, but Schmidt is just using that pitch just to find the corner. She does it again. It's 2-2 count. This would be a big scalp if she can get Alice Prokopek.
And Schmidt doing an outstanding job of mixing in pitches inside and outside.
The 2-2. Dunn goes, and Prokopek swings through, throw down to third, so it's back-to-back strikeouts. Handy goes down looking, Prokopek goes down swinging, and it's 2 outs with a runner in scoring position, but now a runner 90 feet away. That's big-time pitching from Maddie Schmidt.
That is. It's very impressive to see, as a pitcher, you hope to locate one side of the plate consistently, but for her to locate inside and outside, it's going to set up for her hopefully to be a good day.
Jess Maslin now with a runner on third. She is the woman to circle in this batting lineup. She's hit for a cycle in one of her games this year. I think she went 6 for 6 or 6 for 7 in a game where she hit for the cycle. That's hard to do.
Oh, yeah.
You hit for a cycle before, Gally?
Oh, not quite. Not quite.
Not many have.
It's the running. It's the running part.
It's the running part.
Yeah. But with Jess, like you said, outstanding hitter, outstanding work ethic, and she's definitely an imposing force. She swings the bat with a lot of might, but she also has a very good discipline with the strike zone and can also hit the ball the other way very effectively, which makes her so successful.
If you're Maddie Schmidt right now, are you just trying to pitch a little bit cagey almost, just nibble around the corners, knowing that if you give up the base, it's okay because you have 2 outs?
Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing, especially when you have 2 outs, is don't give in. Try to hit a corner. If you miss, you miss. You've got a free base, and you know, let the defense behind you do the work.
2-1 count. Yeah, Maslin not really getting anything to hit, and I think Schmidt would probably know that too. You can't give anything down Main Street to her here.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And in this situation with a runner on third with 2 outs, I mean, you got a free opportunity to take your chances. If you walk her, that's all right. Move on to the next batter.
It's tough though because Bianca Smith is on deck. And Maslin drives it to left field. That falls, and this ball game is tied. Jess Maslin rounding first, steps into second. It's a stand-up RBI double. It's 1-1.
Wow, what a swing right there. That ball was absolutely smoked. And to give credit to Jess for being that patient to wait for her pitch and then not miss it when she got it. It's an outstanding display of hitting right there, and that's why she's the cleanup, and that's why she's had 35 RBIs in the games that she's played.
She's been clutch all year. She's on the Australian national team radar. She drives the ball hard. She's on the state team. She just adds to her accolades, and she stands into second. Something of note, Gally, is that we've got both the runs so far in this game have been scored on 2-out hitting.
Yep, that's when all the pressure's on, and you know, that's I think going to be the tale of the game today. Is going to be clutch hitting and as an offense trying to step up in those situations.
Gee, this lineup doesn't let up. Bianca Smith, a longtime state team member, and the pitcher in the game now has a runner in scoring position. Yeah,
and like you said, not to mention 425 on the season with 14 RBIs is not a slouch of a year either. So she's doing well and holding her own offensively and defensively on the mound.
Has a good swing at that. Chop behind. Kira O'Brien has a look. I think if you're Southern Districts and you can get Bianca Smith out here, if you said to them after the first inning it was a 1-1 game and you got through their heavy hitters in the lineup tied, you'd take that as a, okay, we're in this thing right
yeah,
away.
New ball game. You just made it a 6-inning game. So that's big signs here, 2 outs, and hopefully get the inning out for them.
Up the middle. This is over to short. Staying with it is short. Throw to first. Close play. She's safe.
Very good hustle right there. And you're going to see a lot of that at West Beach. You know, with that wind and these girls playing on the dirt infield as well, some of those hops are going to kick up. And luckily for Southern Districts, they kept that in the infield and didn't allow that run from second to score. But yeah, very good piece of hitting. And usually on a non-windy night, that ball finds its way through.
Erin Harris steps up, runners on the corners. Beautiful night in South Australia. It's about 30 degrees Celsius. Not a lot of wind until you get to West Beach, and it just feels like, even if it's calm in the city, it's just windy here.
There she goes.
It's going to be a free base. You're not going to challenge when you got a runner standing on third.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and in that situation, exactly right. You don't want to risk that runner on third coming home to score to take the lead.
You get the feeling, even though it's early stages, it's a key out that Maddie Schmidt really needs going against Erin Harris. Just dips outside.
Yeah, you're very right. If Southern Districts can get this end out here with that score being 1-1, it gives them a big sigh of relief and a big breath for their offense to go out and try to score some more runs.
22 RBIs for the center fielder. Erin Harris leads the team in outfield assists, third on the team in RBI. She has 2 waiting for her to drive in.
Big moment in the ball game right here.
The 2-1. Oh, she wanted that one.
Big swing right there. Like it.
It's all these little moments that you're going to circle back on the scorecard when we look back in 3-4 innings time. Say Glenelg had runners in scoring position with 2 out. Did they drive them home? Did they not? It's what they've done all year long.
It really is. And for a team that's always used to playing ahead, if you can keep them at a tie game and pushing for it, then you're doing your job.
This hit hard to Straps, knocks it down. Long throw across the diamond. Tash Straps makes the out. Ellie Tucker brings it in. We remain tied. A 7-inning ball game becomes a 6-inning ball game. It's 1-1. Welcome back to the grand final, and this was the play that ended the last inning.
Yeah, outstanding play there by Tash Straps. You know, when you're playing the hot corner, balls obviously are going to be hit to you very quickly, and for her, as you see the line shot right there, the one hopper that hopped up, good hustle down the line by Erin Harris, but an outstanding play from an outstanding third baseman to keep her composure, pick that up with her bare hand, and then make a good strong throw over to first base for the out.
Tash Straps missed the first half of the year because she was playing softball with Port Adelaide. She still plays for Port Adelaide. They unfortunately got knocked out of the competition the other day, but you love her at third base because of her arm, and probably a good cross-reference in the two sports.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right. A lot of power in her bat, a lot of power in her arm, and the versatility that brings with it. Whether that's even coming on the mound or helping out behind the dish, but the versatility of having a strong bat and a strong arm that's going to play on a team, and yeah, to have that versatility and stability at a key position like third base is very important.
You said something pretty interesting as that last inning ended, Gally, is that Glenelg is used to playing ahead and used to playing ahead big. If you're a team that's dominated, I'm not sure the teams you've been on in your career, but if you're on a team that's been dominating all season long, does it feel different when it's a close game all of a sudden?
Yeah, it definitely does. I mean, I played on a team that was 90 and 50, and it was we were used to beating up on teams, and then the finals come around, it's like, well, this is a tense situation in a close ball game. We don't really know how to react there. So it does definitely play a big role, because you never know what the mentality and the focus is of a team if they like to play loose and how they handle themselves in the tense situations.
Kat Whittison leading things off. Bianca Smith back on the mound. That said, Craig Handy did say that one thing he has been really impressed with is in the last few weeks, the games have tightened up because the competition around them has got better and improved. So at least Glenelg faced maybe not ultimate adversity, but they have been in some close ball games in the last part of the season. Whittison, hard hit ball, gets past Prokopek, and Whittison's aboard with a single.
Great piece of hitting right there. Southern District's batters are getting that leadoff runner on, and that's very crucial.
I'll tell you what, don't tell Southern Districts they're the underdog in this game.
They're fighting. Both teams are fighting and scrapping for every single pitch, and that's what makes a grand final so special.
Wendy Backman is the batter.
Be interested to see if we see any small ball here. Oh.
Head coach of Southern Districts, Ben Short, loves Wendy Backman just because he says that her work ethic is like nobody else, and she's that inquisitive baseball mind, just asking a lot of questions. And I think we got to remember, women's baseball at the Division I level is very young in South Australia. It's only been around for a few years, so a lot of players, while there is some elite Team Australia talent. As here's a stolen base attempt, sliding in, safe. A really close play. Bianca Smith doesn't like it. Jenny Dunn doesn't like it. We'll see if we get the replay here. Kat Widdison sliding in there, and she's in scoring position.
And I think that hard slide popped the ball out of Jackie's glove there. As you see, it looks like it was a hit and run. The runner got a little delayed start, looking to put it there. Yeah, unbelievable throw. Great pickup, but
yep, the
good
ball
hard slide knocked it out of her glove. Yeah.
The hard slide, Gally, just like you said, but the throw from Jess Maslin was on the money.
Very tough to do against the wind, and in those circumstances, especially when you got to stay back a little bit longer when the hitter takes a swing, you can't rush out and try to get your footwork all the way out in front of the plate to get that ball. So that was a great display of arm strength, and yeah, unlucky.
One calling card for Southern Districts the last couple games in the finals especially has been how aggressive they've been on the base paths. Ben Short, not afraid to do things unorthodox. You get a runner on with nobody out, you got to get that runner in scoring position, and he just wasted no time and said, we're going to take it.
That you do. And same thing, you've got another runner on second base with nobody out, and the key to getting this run in is advancing that runner at all costs to get her to third base with less than 2 outs and hopefully drive her in from there.
Wendy Backman, 1-2 count. Slice to right field, it just goes foul. Oh my goodness, opposite field. That would have been huge trouble down in that corner. I know games you've played down here in West Beach, when it gets down in that alley, it just turns into all kinds of disaster for the fielding team.
Oh yeah, anything can happen. That's Triples Alley down there. I mean, I know they moved the fences in a little bit, but yeah, I've seen some pretty crazy plays and some unbelievable ball games that happen with a lot of base hits and balls headed down that corner.
Gritty at bat once again, falls behind 0-2, fouls a couple away, takes a couple pitches, and Backman again, gritty for the Hawks.
That's it. They're fighting every single pitch, every single at bat, and hopefully working it back into her count right here, 2-2, and we'll see what Bianca comes with.
Chop down the line, it just goes foul. How quick was Jess Maslin up on that ball?
Oh, she wanted that play, especially noticing that the runner at second base wasn't heading to third, so that would have been an out, you know, under her standards, an out at first base without that runner from second advancing to third.
Maslin, very knowledgeable player, both in baseball and in softball, always grown up around it as Bianca Smith check throw. You can tell that makes her a big leader on this team, just that baseball IQ.
Oh, it does, and especially to have that behind the plate. Both teams, with Kira O'Brien behind the plate and Jess Maslin, that baseball knowledge and giving your pitchers that comfort to throw whatever you want in the dirt, knowing that they're going to be there and stop it.
Big swing and a miss, and Bianca Smith has her first strikeout of the grand final. That helps get her into the game.
Huge pitch. Not only to strike out and get the first out of the inning, but to also leave that runner at second base. As opposed to letting them advance to third. Very big play, very big play.
I'll tell you what, Bianca Smith hasn't allowed a lot of hard contact. The hit to Sarah Short was just a little jam shot to left field. And even the hit that Deb Hutchings had kind of just fell in that awkward place. So even though she allowed the run, it's not like she's being battered around.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and I think she's mixing speed, she's mixing location, and just that fear of the off speed, and she's still trying to find that. She's still trying to find that for strikes right now, and watch out when she does. There it is, right there.
You say watch out, and she throws one right away for the strike.
Yep, and she likes to add and subtract on that too. She throws one hard like that, but she also does have the one that she takes some speed off that she tries to drop in there for a strike every now and then, and it's one you got to watch out for.
Kira O'Brien, the batter, reaches down at this one, gets a good scoop on it. Will it stay fair? It just goes foul. Kira O'Brien, we were talking yesterday, just chatting about the game, and you're the women's state team coach, and Kira O'Brien, an addition on the team this year, and you just described her as, well, how did you describe her? Just a workhorse.
Workhorse, very scrappy, gritty player, and that's the thing is she's very good dropping down the block. She holds the runners well with her arm, and you know she's just a competitor, and
chops that out
as she throws the breaking ball there. But just she loves to go out there and she competes, but she's not afraid to put her body on the line to help save a run and be there for her pitchers.
Well, another gritty at bat for Southern Districts, even Wendy Backman win a few pitches into the count, are making Glenelg earn it. Craig Handy, the head coach, said he was expecting this from Southern Districts, is that he had no expectations that this was going to be anything but difficult in these conditions versus a team that wants it badly.
And as a fan of baseball, it's awesome. It's awesome to see that every single pitch is a battle and competition. And
again, gets a good piece of this. It's popped into the air. Handy looking at that, easily brings that in. It's the second out. Runner has got to second base, but Bianca Smith stranded him since then.
Yep. That's a very good job defensively holding him there, and for a veteran pitcher to come in and get those 2 outs, he's got to feel good. The job's not done yet. Got the top half of the lineup coming through, and see where it goes from here.
Both runs of the game have been scored on 2-out hitting. Abby Jorgensen has got a lot of speed. She almost beat out a ground ball to second base in her first at bat. She can hurt you on the base pass. She plays softball for Hills, and her speed was evident there as Smith gets ready with the 0-1. That drops down. In that elimination final, Jorgensen reached on an infield hit, stole second, scampered her way to third, and then scored on a pass ball to home. Even in softball, that's what she does. She uses her legs and causes a lot of damage, probably why she's at the top of the lineup.
Speed kills, and it puts pressure on the defense.
This one slips away. It's going to be a free base over to third. So this becomes interesting as you talk about the speed of Jorgensen. An infield hit, Jorgensen has every chance of beating that out, which would score the run.
Well, now that turns your approach as a hitter, because when you've got a runner on second base, you're looking to hit something in the outfield so that they can come around. Now with a runner on third with 2 outs, you can really utilize your speed, and the goal for her right now is to try to hit that ball up the middle. As you see the corner infielder starting to move in a little bit to try to take away that speed, but yeah, now her approach shifts and see if she can put a ball in play.
Late swing, chop foul. 2-2 count. Nice catch of the fans somewhere up there. Good little turnout out here. You've got Southern Districts lining the away dugout, the third base side. All the fans and supporters from that club, and Glenelg over at first. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Just outside, called strike. And that is gonna end the inning. Nope, yes it will. It will end the inning. So they allow a leadoff runner, but Bianca Smith dials it up and gets 2 huge strikeouts in pressure situations. How about that?
That's what you like to see from your veteran leader and your star pitcher on the team. To give up that runner getting all the way to second base with nobody out, and to come in, settle in, and really take leadership. Now, for Southern District, the key is going to be how do they respond right here. Going up in the top of the first with a run, and then holding them to 1, and then looking to go up again. Didn't quite happen. This is a very big bottom half for Southern Districts, and hopefully, with a high-powered offense like Glenelg, it's going to be interesting to see how they respond.
Yeah, you make a good point, Gally. It's a table-setting inning. You feel like if Glenelg puts up a few runs here, this is just how Glenelg does it all year. They race ahead early and they defend that league. But if they're in a bit of a dogfight in the third, fourth innings, you never know.
Yeah, and that's the thing is every time you go through the lineup, being a hitter as I am too, it's the more at bats and the more pitches that you see, you settle down and you get used to the speed and what the ball's doing and what the strike zone's going to be, and you start to get a little bit more comfortable and confident. So that's why you just, at these moments early in the game, you can't let off the gas pedal, and it's interesting to see. This is a big bottom half of the inning right here, especially with Glenelg's bottom part of the order. You'd like to try to get those outs as early as you can to prevent that middle part of the lineup from Glenelg turning back over and getting back up in key run scoring situations again.
Southern Districts are hardly ever out of a game. They lost a game 14-2 to Glenelg back in December, and that was their 4th straight loss. Since then, they lost 12-11 to Woodville in a close game, but then they won 10-0, 12-0, 11-4. Then they had one offsetting loss. That was a big one, but then they beat Goodwood 9-0. They lost a close game to Glenelg. They lost a close game to Sturt, and then 2 wins in the finals. The point is this Sturt team, especially lately, even if they do lose a game, they don't go down without a fight.
That's it. Never over till it's over. Never say die attitude. And Yeah, that's exactly what you want, especially out of a finals game, is two teams that are very deserving of being here and that like to fight till the end.
Dana Aldwin leads things off for Glenelg. Neither team has a Division I side in a grand final, although Southern Districts just won the Don Rice League competition, which was good for them. So a point of pride for the clubs.
Very good turnout that night too, and Don Rice League is a great competition, and a lot of young and promising stars in that.
Drifted to right field, it finds a gap, and there's that outfield watch we were talking about in the first inning, Gally, and Aldwin gets a base.
Yep, that's another great piece of hitting, standing the ball to right field, and another leadoff hitter on first to start the inning. So let's see how Glenelg takes advantage of this and see if they can move a runner across the board here.
Jackie Dunn, 4th season of baseball with Glenelg. Greg Handy said she's hitting the ball a lot harder this year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do here, whether they try for a stolen base or a hit and run in this situation, especially with some good speed.
This goes down low, so Schmidt behind early, 2-0. Lucy Mitten standing on deck. Never swinging at that, 2-1.
Yeah, in a situation like that, you want to force that pitcher to make a strike, especially with a runner on first and nobody out and 2-0 count, not knowing if her control is on or not, and being the 8-hole, hopefully seeing some pitches. Now expect some action here within this pitch or the next pitch.
But if you're forcing them to throw a strike, isn't that the one to hit then?
Yeah, it is. There's different ways of looking at it.
That one she was swinging
Yeah,
at.
she was swinging at that one. I mean, in a tie game like this, you've got a runner on first base with nobody out. Your mindset is to either move that runner to second with a bunt or a hit and run type play, or you try to be patient and draw a walk because you got the bottom of the order. If you've got runners on first and second with nobody, then you've got the 9-hole up, then you put a bunt on, and anything can really happen. So I understand the call.
The 3rd strikeout of the day for Maddie Schmidt. She's feeling pretty good.
Yep, that was just a little high, but that's what happens when, you know, you see some pitches and then, yeah, if you let that one get down the middle, you get a little bit aggressive, and yeah, then you start chasing and eyes start lighting up a little bit.
Lucy Mitten rounding out the order, then we'll turn it back.
Now it's 1 out. Seeing what Glenelg can do here.
Starting to get a bit darker at West Beach too as that drops in for the 2nd strike. Does that play a factor when you start a game in daylight and sunset and then you got to adjust to the bright lights?
Yeah, I think so. Depending on how the sky is, I mean, we've got a beautiful night here at West Beach.
Yeah.
It is a pretty clear night. Picking up that ball over top of the batter's eye is a little bit tough, but wow, good piece of hitting.
Driven to center field, cut off, throw to second. They get the 8-6 force out.
That's unbelievable, and that goes back to the positioning that we were talking about again too. If you've got a hitter, and that's being very, very aggressive with the center fielder there, because if that ball's another 20 feet to the right, I mean, you're talking about that runner from first could potentially score, but instead, center fielder comes up firing, makes an unbelievable play to get the advanced runner at second base. Outstanding, and those are the risks that high risk, high reward plays that you got to take, especially in a grand finals matchup.
That's Abby Jorgensen moving in from center to keep a runner out of scoring position. That's her speed and athleticism, probably why she's out there. And Jorgensen in the outfield, you can't see it on camera right now, but she's quite in again here.
She is, and the best center fielders in the game, they play shallow because they trust their speed. And I think that's a confidence thing. It's not really something you can teach, but you know, for her to make that play and have the confidence to not panic and get that lead out.
But instead, this is hit over to right field.
Wow.
Great catch taken by Kat Winnison. That's
What a
the
catch.
third out of the inning.
What an outstanding play. I mean, as you can see, is that first batter getting that hit down the right field line, was that ball and the wind kind of pushed it away. For her to go back on that ball, make the adjustment and stay with it, especially an over-the-head catch when that ball's swirling in that wind, is outstanding.
Especially
Wow.
considering how in she was. So Southern Districts used some great defense to dominate the second defensively. We're tied at 1 as we head to the third. We'll be back after this. One-one game as we get to the third. It's the 14-1 Glenelg Tigers versus the fourth place 7-7-1 Southern Districts Hawks. This is the grand final, winner take all. And Kelly, we talked about these risks and adjustments you need to take in a grand final, and the big story now is that outfield alignment from Southern Districts.
Yeah, that's you know, it was outstanding, especially having the bottom half of the lineup. You know, that's an experienced player, knowing that the wind is blowing in, and for a ball to be hit over her head or something that she can't get to has got to be absolutely crushed. So trusting her speed and trusting her alignment in her arm is played in, and that came up with a huge out, because runners on first and second with one out could be a totally different ball game. That last out that falls over the right fielder's head, you're talking about another run or two and the inning prolonging.
Inning number 3, Sarah Short leads things off for Southern Districts. Bianca Smith still on the mound. That one starts high, ends high. It's ball 1. Well, the first 2 innings, you kind of feel each other out a little bit. It's a 1-1 game. Southern District's going to be pumped with this. Now we're in those middle innings of the 7-inning game. Now we're truly in the thick of things.
This is it. This is it. And a credit to both teams. You know, the offense is coming up, setting the table with the leadoff runner getting on in the past couple innings, and for the defense to really show up and to shut those runners down. Now for the offenses is going to be, you know, who can capitalize on those, as both teams seem to fail in their previous innings.
Both teams have scored on a 2-out hit, but both teams have let opportunities go by the wayside when they've had runners on with no out.
And that's the beauty of baseball. And that's why every single moment and every single pitch is, you know, you can, at the end of the day, you can second guess your decisions, whether you put a bunt or the steal or this or that. But that's the beauty and that's the joy of baseball, is anything can happen.
3-1 count. Paul Souter calls strike on that one, just dropping in, brings it full. Battle between 2 pretty good friends in Sarah Short and Bianca Smith.
Yes, 2 longtime state women's players, and yeah, very good friends and very good workers as well.
Short, up the middle, but it goes right to Jenny Dunn, out number 1.
And a very good battle right there, and a very good piece of hitting. Got you her pitch. That was another tough pitch up and in. Hit a ball hard to the shortstop, just right at her, and Glenelg capitalizes on that first out of the inning.
Tash Straps is the new batter. You take a look at the replay. Make this replay brought to you by Just the Thing Furniture Warehouse. How about that? Or Plura Activewear. Lots of great sponsors here in the baseball SA community. You would have heard all about them during the Super League coverage on Spacequake Sports and Baseball SA. Tash Straps, bat in the middle of the lineup. She's 1 for 1. She did get out. She was on the wrong end of the double play, or double play attempt, I should say. And she grounds this over to third, scooped up by Prokopek.
Wow.
Throw across the diamond. That was made easy from Alice Prokopek at third.
What a play right there. A ball that was hit just a little bit harder found its way in that hole, and that play right there that's big time. That was outstanding footwork to make a good first step, and to trust her arm strength and make a good solid throw right to the chest. Doesn't get much better than that. Very good.
Yeah, I mean, it was hit hard, but it was still a bit like you have to move there pretty quickly to take away that time. It was a long way to cover.
Yeah, and especially when you're moving that far to your left to set your feet and throw across your body and trust your arm strength like that, that's an elite play.
Bianca Smith seems to also have just found her rhythm after a first inning where it was just balls finding gaps. She allowed the leadoff hit to Kat Widdison to start the second, but since then she's retired the next 6 in order. Ellie Tucker crunches this to left. It gets by Handy. Tucker is going to round first. She's going to go on back. She was thinking about it for a bit, but that ball was hit pretty hard.
Yeah, great piece of hitting, but also a great effort to keep that in front, because if she lays out for that ball and doesn't get a glove on it, she could be going for 2 or 3 bases. But with 2 outs in the inning and a tie score, I like the effort going after it, and to keep her to first base with 2 outs is very big.
Deb Hutchings had the 2-out RBI and a little hit to center field in the first inning. That accounted for Southern District's only run of the ball game.
Yeah, outstanding at bat last time.
That was an 8 or 9. That was the one that was like 8 or 9 pitches,
yeah,
wasn't it?
it was. Fought off some good tough pitches and came back with a solid shot right up the middle to put the team ahead.
Hutchings, contact again. Slow roller over to second, Dunn to first, and it's a relatively straightforward inning for Glenelg defensively. They limit the damage to just that one hard hit ball from Ellie Tucker to left field, but more importantly, they just keep the 1 run on the board. There's a look at the replay as Jackie Dunn made the play.
Yep, making sure of it there, and very good clean inning there for Glenelg.
Yeah, Glenelg seems to have just settled in here, and this is a danger part of the lineup right here. We might circle back to the 3rd inning because you have Handy, Prokopek, Maslin due up, and Smith and Harris follow. It's the middle, meaty part of the lineup for Glenelg. For Maddie Schmidt, all you got to be thinking is if you can retire these 3 batters, or 3 of the 4 batters at least, then you only have to deal with the bottom of the lineup in the 4th, and things could be set up for you.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And look for Glenelg's hitters to get a little bit of redemption from their first at bat. Alice Prokopek with a rare strikeout in her first at bat is going to look to do some damage. And Jess Maslin, it's going to be interesting to see coming up in the 3rd position of the lineup. Interested to see what opportunity she gets and if she gets very much to hit.
A 1-1 game. It is a 7-inning contest. The other quirk of the local women's baseball league here is you can only score 5 runs per inning. So 5 would be the max, and the game will end effectively as soon as a team can't reach that total. But take a look at the crowd that has come out here at West Beach. I mean, this is a few hundred people that have come and packed the grandstands, bought the hot dogs. Riley Yateman, Padres prospect, is cooking up the hot dogs in the canteen.
I mean, this is what baseball in Australia is all about. You've got a lot, 2 great local clubs, great fan base and support. Field looks amazing, beautiful night. What more could you ask for?
Well, big moment in the game. It's the 2, 3, 4 hitters due up. Jenna Handy, Alice Prokopek, and Jess Maslin. Handy struck out in her first at-bat. One of 3 strikeouts on the day. Kira Schmidt has had strikeouts at big moments. Jenny Dunn started the game with an infield single, and then she goes strikeout, and then again an infield single just a hit to left field for Dana Alden, and she backed that up with a strikeout. So she's come up with strikeouts at big-time moments. You're probably loving that as a state team coach, looking at a pitcher that can get strikeouts at big moments.
Yeah, and for her, really, she only really throws off of her fastball, and for her to be able to do that is purely off of location. And when she's dialed in and throwing strikes like she is, it's tough to hit because you don't know what to sit. You don't know whether you're gonna look inside, outside, up, or down. So for her to be able to control the strike zone in all the quadrants of it makes it a guessing game.
First out, so important. Keep the base path clear for Prokopek and Maslin. This one over the head of Jenna Handy. Both teams getting some quality starts so far from their starting pitchers. They both have pretty solid relievers too. Gets her to chase. And it's another strikeout for Kira Schmidt on Jenna Handy. That's her 4th of the day, and it's another big one.
Yeah, like you said, starting off first pitch of the at-bat, being able to locate inside for a strike. Trying to go back to the inside pitch, missed over her head, and then the next pitch she goes ahead and locates low and away.
It doesn't make it easier now with Alice Prokopek up, but it takes some of the pressure off knowing you don't have to worry about a base runner too.
Yeah, it does. Alice is a big extra base threat and a very good base runner with some speed as well. So it'll be interesting, especially how she battles after her first at bat that she had last time where Maddie's shut her down.
Yeah, rare strikeout for Alice Prokopek. She doesn't do that too often. More often she's driving in the runs. Watches that pitch drop in, and she's ahead 0-2. She's locating.
She is. And especially for somebody like Alice that likes it out over the plate, for Maddie to be able to throw strikes inside it makes it tough for any hitter. Good swing right there.
And importantly, she just stays alive. Wasn't the pitch for her to hit, but at least she stays alive.
She does, and that's, when you get to 2 strikes, all you're doing is battling. You try to get good pitches over the middle of the plate that you can handle, but luckily for Maddie and unfortunately for Alice, those pitches less than 2 strikes have been right on the black, and they've been outstanding. So now all you can do is go up there and fight and try to put the ball in play.
That one outside. So are you watching now as a state team coach a lot of how these women that might be on this team are dealing with big pressure situations? Yeah,
you're exactly right. And a pitch like that's very far outside of the strike zone almost locks you back in here as Alice, because going from locating and then gives up a pitch like that could potentially lock you right back into an at-bat.
Gets contact on this. Over to Deb Hutchings, knocks it down, throw to first, but there's that speed you were talking about from Alice Prokopek. Hutchings gave her just a glimpse in a moment, some extra time, and it helped her out on a ball that was hit towards second.
Yeah, and that's what you try to do is with 2 strikes, all you're doing is battling, competing. And for Alice, she got a pitch out over the plate. That's what she's looking for, and was able to hit it hard at the second baseman, took a funny hop, and is on first base now. So it'll be interesting to see if she runs or is going to let Jess have a chance to hit here.
You could see on the replay, Hutchings, she knocked the ball down, that's fine, but you could see it had to be a quick throw because when she looked up, Prokopek was almost there.
Yeah, even if she fields it cleanly, I think it's still going to be a bang-bang play at first. So any little bobble is, you're
can't do that versus Alice.
Yep, exactly.
Jess Maslin, 35 RBIs on the season, led the comp. She in the top 10 vote getters of the season. Alice Prokopek goes. A good challenging throw, but Prokopek stands up with a stolen base. She's in the top 10 vote getters for the MVP, Jess Maslin. She's on that women's showcase team. She's shortlisted on the Australian national team. She has the RBI double that scored Glenelg's run earlier. She was a member of Gawler. She led that team to an inaugural club championship 3 years ago, I guess, with Gawler. She's very accomplished in a very young women's baseball career.
Yeah, you're right. And Jess works hard for everything that she's earned. And here comes the intentional walk. Kind of figured that was going to happen with the base open.
It's just you don't want to take your chance.
No, you don't want to take your chance. I mean, especially last time that she came up in an RBI situation, they nibbled, but I think 3-1 they were trying to nibble again, just unfortunately missed, and you can tell that's the difference in this ball game right now. So,
and they've already got one out, and now it brings the double play into effect too.
It does put the double play into effect, and also it will, if they do end up getting two outs here, it does put the bottom half of the lineup back to start the following inning as well, if they can get these next 2.
That's tremendous respect to Jess Maslin as a hitter. When you get intentionally walked as a batter, are you annoyed? because you don't get your chance to hit, or are you like, yeah, fair enough?
It's a mind game. It's a mind game because as a hitter and a competitor, you always want to be up in those situations. That's that's what you look for, that's what you dream for, and that's what you work for.
I remember it was crazy back in the day when the Barry Bonds era, when they started walking him when his bases loaded, and they said, yeah, just take the base.
Yeah, I did see a stat the other day. He had a year where he had more intentional walks than swing and misses, which is pretty rare in this type of day.
Beautiful sunset. We call it the Glenelg Grandstand tonight here at the Baseball South Australia Complex at Bennett Field. 0-2 count to Bianca Smith. Big pitch coming up for Kira Schmidt, and she gets her to chase. It's strikeout number 5.
Unbelievable pitching right there, and that's the key, is that when she's able to locate inside, it makes it very tough to hit. And her pitching approach going hard in early and then trying to finish the batters away, and then right there, the second time through the lineup, you see how she goes in and she finishes in. She didn't finish away that time, so now with Erin up, she's got to battle and compete with 2 outs, runners on first and second, and looking to drive this runner in.
She's got the strikeouts at the perfect time. So she got the strikeout on Jenna Handy just to keep the bases clear. And that actually freed up a lot because it means that Prokopik can get a hit and you can intentionally walk Maslin and you can still have a few options available. Had she not got that first out, the inning looks very different.
Oh, it does. And that's the thing, when you intentionally walk somebody, it's not the easiest. It's a lot easier for the coach than it is for the pitcher because you're still adding a free base runner to the bases as opposed to just having one runner on. Now you're putting a runner on first and second with 1 out. But to go in there and then just focus on the next hitter and strike the next batter out is very impressive.
And there's a lot of risk in that. We don't know if it paid off yet because their 2 runners are still on. Erin Harris takes that pitch. It's a 2-1 count.
Oh, you're exactly right. You're exactly right with that because especially in that situation, 2-0, like the inning isn't over. You could just be adding another runner on to fuel the fire. So job is far from over yet.
A plucky Southern Districts Hawks team. Schmidt gets her to chase. She's got her on 2 strikes.
Big swing there. That was another fastball in, and it'll be interesting to see where Maddie goes with this one, if she comes back in again or tries to get that outside corner.
I'll tell you what, I got a good feeling about this pitch for Erin Harris. Her daughter just came up and gave me a fist bump, so we'll see.
There you go. She's ready for it.
2-2 count to Harris. Runners on first and second. Schmidt deals, runners go. Cold strike, she strikes out the side. Maddie Schmidt is bringing the goods in this grand final. A potent Glenelg offense held to just 1 run through 3, and we are tied. Let's take a look at this replay.
Yeah, double steal there. Yeah, that's located low and away. Not usually an ideal situation to bunt with 2 outs and 2 strikes. That might have been a
decoy.
Miscommunication in the signs. But yeah, I like the double steal. But yeah, it's still that's still a very tough pitch to hit, especially after locating everything that she had inside. So
we'll take a moment, go to the bathroom, grab a drink. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back to Bennett Field at the Baseball SA Complex. It's the Division I Women's Grand Final. We've got ourselves a 1-1 ball game. Glenelg outscored teams 174-39 this year. Kelly, you mentioned earlier, they're used to playing with leads ahead. Now we're in the middle innings of the game, and Bianca Smith has a tie game. She'd be used to pitching in leads this late in the game. Does it change for a pitcher?
Well, I think as a pitcher, this is the time where, all the butterflies are out. You've established your first time through the lineup, and now it's really just trying to take control of this game. I mean, you've got a lot of good defense behind you. You know that your offense scores run, and now's the time to just keep attacking the zone and keep doing what she's doing.
By the way, 174 runs, it's an average of 11.6 runs per game scored, and only allowing 2.26. They average an 11-2 win each game.
Yeah, you like that as a pitcher. That's a pretty good run support right there. I'll take that.
But even the pitching numbers, and Bianca Smith started the bulk of the games, Alice Prokopek a couple in there and coming in relief. Even as a team only allowing just over 2 runs per game is pretty insane too.
It's outstanding. I mean, that just goes to show how much they attack the zone, but how much...
But that's hit hard up the middle.
That was
Susie Doyle aboard with a base hit. Susie Doyle was circled by Ben Short as someone that will do anything for the team. They put her in a whole bunch of different situations. That's just hard up the middle.
That's it. And what the team needed there was a leadoff runner on base once again. And we'll see how the Southern Districts responds, if they play small ball or if they can get him around again.
Kat Widdison, the batter. She's got a runner aboard. Hit hard again. It's a back-to-back hits for Southern Districts.
Big time swing right there, and really taking advantage of that 6-hole gap that they had given them. So you got 2 runners on now with nobody out. It'll be interesting to see what Southern Districts does here if they lay down a bunt.
Well, I mean, it's the bottom of the lineup in Wendy Backman and Kira O'Brien coming up. Ben Short plays a bit of an, well, not necessarily unorthodox, but he likes to take any strategy there is in the baseball book.
Yeah, I mean, having your cleanup hitter lay down a suicide squeeze to win a game, I wouldn't put anything too far past him. So yeah, I'll be interested to see what tricks he's got left up the sleeve for grand final night.
A big hold from Kira Schmidt and the defense in the last half inning in the middle of the lineup has set the stage for a potential rally here for Southern Districts. They scored early on with a 2-out double from Deb Hutchings. Jess Maslin responded with a 2-out double. Making a 1-1 game. That's where we are in the middle stages of this 7-inning contest, the grand final. Winner take all.
There it is.
There's the bunt. It's a good one. Laid down. That's going to be a tough play over at first. She's going to make it, but she advances the runners.
What a bunt. That's huge. That's huge team batting right there. To be able to put that one down, not hard and fair, and to be able to move those runners up is an outstanding job right there.
Well, she made Bianca Smith have to make a good throw here.
Yeah, she did, and that's exactly where you want to put it. Not too hard, and not too hard that the pitcher has a chance to get that lead runner. But now you're expecting with 1 out, Glenelg's going to bring their infield in and try to cut this run off at home.
2 runners in scoring position for Kira O'Brien. First pitch swing. Prokopek holds the runner at third. Throw across the diamond. That's some tidy work from Alice Prokopek at third.
Yeah, it was. And especially with the infield in, that's one that you want to try to get to the outfield. And, as you can see on the replay, Jess Maslin actually goes back up first base. There was nobody covering home. Could have taken advantage of that one too. But now with 2 outs, top part of the lineup up, looking to take advantage of this speed.
Jess Maslin went to cover first as soon as the back was turned of the runner heading back to first.
Yep.
But you're absolutely right. Jess Maslin left first. That was a free base back home with the catcher going to cover first.
That was.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. And it paid off.
It paid off. It paid off.
Abby Jorgensen, she's got some speed. Chops, foul. I was maybe premature on the foul call, but it was.
It was. You were right there, Eric.
So they got 2 hits to start the inning. They had runners on first and second, nobody out. A sacrifice bunt from Wendy Backman moved the runners over, but Southern Districts don't want to let this opportunity go by the wayside. Abby Jorgensen had some clutch moments in a softball elimination final on Wednesday. Can she do it again here? Over to Prokopek, it bounces off of her. It's gonna score a run. The Hawks take the lead.
That ball was hit very hard. That could have easily, 1 foot to the left could have been an 2 RBI double for Alice. Keeping that in front, it actually saved another run. But yeah, that's a big time play right there. As a defense, you're looking to make that play, but still in respect for her to keep that ball in the infield, it prevents another run and potentially that runner from getting to second base as well. So.
More hard contact, and other than other innings, they're swinging early in counts now.
They are. Yeah, I think they're starting to understand that Bianca doesn't throw too many balls, so they got to take advantage of the strikes that they can get.
Free base as Jorgensen moves in without a challenge. It's runners on second and third. All the runs so far have been scored with 2 outs.
Very timely hitting. And, for Southern Districts to, they laid down the bunt, outstanding piece of hitting, and then unfortunate with the bases loaded, or with the runners on second and third and the infield in, couldn't get that run across, but had some lucky, lucky bounces there for them to get ahead 2-1 here.
Glenelg down 2-1. Sarah Short, 1 for 2 on the day. Can she come up big?
And if you're Southern Districts, this is exactly who you want up at the plate right now. Your veteran, your leader, and looking to drive one or possibly 2 of these runs in.
The 1-2 count, 2 runners in scoring position. They've already plated 1 this inning. Here's the pitch. Good job from Sarah Short to lay off that one.
Yeah, that's
close.
Tough pitch to lay off of, just a little up, I think. But for Bianca and for Glenelg to get out of this with one run as well, with having runners on second and third with less than 2 outs, this is a big situation right here for them.
Short puts it sky high. They still got to make the play. Moving over in foul territory, Dana Aldwin. Sure hands, important out to make to not give her a chance, but Southern Districts score a run, and it is a 2-1 game at the midway point.
Very exciting stuff, and we were waiting for that small ball, and for them it luckily paid out for 1 run, and I think for Glenelg this is a big opportunity for them to wake up the bats a little bit and see what they got to respond here.
Glenelg lost their only game of the season just before Christmas, a 6-5 loss to Sturt. And Sturt were the reigning premiers. They got eliminated by this Southern Districts team last week. But that was a game that Craig Handy, the head coach of Glenelg, said that was a good thing that happened to this team because it allowed them to recalibrate, to adjust, to take a look what went wrong in that game. Sometimes adversity creates big things.
Oh yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, if you go through the whole season winning everything, obviously, yeah, it's a great feeling, but the mistakes and the losses are what you really learn from, and especially as a team and an experienced team like Glenelg, they have that ability to come back. They're not going to lose their composure, but this is a real big test for them, and I think we'll have to see how they can dig deep and see what their response is here.
At the top of the broadcast, you said that Glenelg, the powerhouse team here, the pressure's almost more on them in this game. But now Southern Districts have a lead in the grand final. Yeah. Does the pressure swap back to Southern Districts? Now they're saying, oh boy, we're in front here.
I mean, you want to say that it does, but it's, especially when you have a pitcher that's throwing and dealing, good pitching always beats good hitting. And if they can take care of the business here, it's going to give them more confidence. But, as you said, as a team, you still have that lurking in the back of your mind that, yes, Glenelg did beat you 3 times. And, for them, like you said, the pressure is on them. But at the same time, if Southern Districts can shut it down, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out for the rest of the ball
But
game.
The last game was close. It was 9-5. It was kind of close throughout the game. Southern Districts gave them a challenge before, but it's one thing to keep Glenelg down for 3 innings, but can you do it for 7?
Well, that's the thing, too. I mean, when you when you beat a team 3 times throughout the course of the year, what adjustments do you really have to make? So for South, every game that they lost and everything that they did, they could go back to the drawing board and see what they do. Whereas Glenelg, it's basically just trying to maintain what you've done. So it almost makes it tougher for that team that's had that many wins and that much experience competing over a team.
Well, Glenelg are facing some major adversity now. They're down 2-1 in a grand final game. Dana Aldwin leads things off. Kira Schmidt, 6 strikeouts on the day. She's got 1 walk, but it was an intentional walk issued to Jess Maslin. And scattered just a couple hits so far. I think 5 are on the board for Glenelg. Aldwin, Dunn, and Mitten are the batters. Surviving that last middle of the lineup unscathed is huge because now you get to face the 7, 8, 9 batters.
Yes. And this is a big test right here because this is the trap that you can fall into as a pitcher, is trying to set up, be comfortable with the lower half of the lineup. But if these girls can get on and give that 1, 2, 3, 4 chance in the lineup to get up with runners on base, you're talking about a pretty dangerous situation, especially their 3rd time coming up to hit.
And the potential for a big inning.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And especially the power and the success that they've had, it's you can only tame the beast for so long.
Well, after these 3 batters, you're going to have Glenelg heavy hitters come through for the 3rd time. Here's the pitch. Gets good contact, but it's drifted foul. Ellie Tucker has a look, but runs out of real estate really quickly. So now we're entering that stage where you gotta start thinking about when you go to that bullpen. I mean, Kira Schmidt's having a great game right now, but that's going to start entering these managers' minds at some point.
Oh, yeah, it does. And timing is everything, especially when you do have 2 pitchers that have given everything that they've had and have very successful starts. It's tough to know exactly, when I should go to them, when I shouldn't, or who should I go to. But that's in their hands, and luckily those aren't our decisions.
Full count. Rides inside, so the leadoff hitter here at the bottom of the lineup, Dana Aldwin, is aboard. There you go, a single, or not a single, a walk, sorry.
That's it, another leadoff runner on base. So as we saw earlier in the game, I think a couple of teams had squandered those opportunities, and it'll be interesting to see how Glenelg responds here. See if they get another run on, see if they hit and run, or see if they end up laying one down to move that runner across. If
7, 8, 9 get it done, that's how games are won. And these games almost mirror images of each other. In the first inning, Glenelg, here's the pitch. Southern Districts scored a run. They had a 2-out single to score a run. In the bottom of the first, Glenelg responds with a 2-out double to score a tie-in run. Both lineups kind of neutralized since then. They had runners in scoring position, couldn't score, but in the 4th inning, it was the 6 and 7 batters that got aboard, the 8th batter that pushed them around. It was the bottom of the lineup for Southern Districts that generated the offense, and now maybe starting to see a similar thing here for Glenelg.
Yeah, and usually in big games like that, I mean, you're always going to have, the middle of your lineup and the top stars for yourself perform, but I think in these make-or-break situations, it's always the sleepers that usually always come up with a big moment and start the team rolling.
Now, Kira Schmidt's just lost the strike zone a little bit now. 3-0 count. She's come out throwing 9 pitches now in this inning, and 7 of them have been for balls.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they give her the take sign for at least one of these pitches. For sure 3-0, but I might as well with 3-1 count too.
Well, just like the last inning, or half inning for Southern Districts, the first 2 batters reach, and it's runners on first and second, and now there's going to be a visit from I think this is the pitching coach coming out here. Maybe just to buy some time. I don't see anybody throwing in the bullpen, but I can see some action now.
Yeah, decision time. It'll be interesting to see what they're, obviously trying to settle her down, but it'll be interesting to see what Glenelg, yep, that'll be it.
So Sarah Short is going to come in from shortstop. Maddie Schmidt walks off to a nice reception from the Southern District supporters, and why wouldn't she? 6 strikeouts through the first 3 innings 2 of them versus Jenna Handy. She got Alice Prokopek to strike out, Bianca Smith to strike out, Erin Harris to strike out, Jackie Dunn to strike out. Those are some big names.
Oh yeah, I mean, if that's exactly what you're looking for from a starting pitcher. She had an outstanding start, and you know, for both of them to limit the damage like they did was well done on them. So we'll be interested to see how Shorty responds here for them.
Well, during the pitching change here, we're pleased to welcome another guest to the Just the Thing Furniture Warehouse commentary booth. It's the general manager here of Baseball South Australia, Sarah Kelly. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. Are you enjoying the night so far of this Division 1 Grand Final?
Well, it's actually really lovely to be here, Eric, and nice to be out of the canteen and bar
Is that where you were?
I've been cooking hot chips.
You've been cooking hot chips, serving the hot dogs. Have you been busy then?
Very busy. It's a great evening, though.
Yeah, we've been looking around the crowd. It's been a pretty good support from Southern District, sitting over at third base and Glenelg over at first, making a lot of noise, and it's a closer ball game than I think some people might have kind of predicted in this game, Glenelg being the juggernaut coming in.
Absolutely. Glenelg have been strong all year.
Yeah.
They have been the team to beat, I'm hearing.
They certainly have been, and right now Southern Districts is taking it to them, and this is warming up. Sarah Short, one of the women's state team players. Does she pitch much, Gally, with the women's state team trials?
Yeah, she does. She can really play anywhere on the field. She's tried out catching. She's played a little bit of third. She's played short. I think she prefers shortstop, but she's the one that always wants the ball when the game's on the line. So it'll be interesting to see how she responds. But true competitor, and a lot of those girls are, you know, with Sarah and Kira behind the plate, 2 very strong competitors, 2 gritty teammates, and they're looking to get the job done here for them.
Lucy Mitten will come to the plate. She's relatively new to the sport of baseball. We've seen a lot of women around the state pick up a bat and ball and join, and there's been 3 divisions this year as Short delivers her first pitch. But Sarah, from your perspective, certainly something you've seen across the state, a lot more women joining up a baseball club?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been brilliant to have 3 divisions this year. I think it's really strengthened our Division 1, and it's shown that there's a lot of appetite for women across baseball, even at the social level.
Gally, that's actually an interesting point, because you're the coach of everybody at Kensington Baseball Club. So you've got a women's team that just won, right?
Yeah.
No, or do you have a Division 3 team, or just Division 2?
No, just one Division 2.
Just one Division 2, as it's a 2-0 count coming here for Sarah Short. That opens up the prospect, though, of having a feeder system at each of the clubs. Like, you play your time at Div 2, you can get a couple games at Div 1, but that probably opens up some pathways, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. And I think especially for the younger girls that are playing baseball, it really gives an opportunity with how much the sport has been growing to give them something to look up to in the baseball community.
A bunt laid down by Lucy Mitten. I like the strategy, but that rolls in for a strike. It's a 2-2 count.
Tough spin on that. I mean, that was in a position where she very easily could have reached base. And worst case scenario, if it stayed fair, then it would be runners on second and third once again for Glenelg. But great idea. I like the approach, and yeah, now she's got a battle here with 2 strikes.
Big moment with runners on first and second. Both teams, it's monkey see, monkey do in this game. Both teams almost replicating the exact formula to score some runs. Big pitch, Sarah Short coming in relief. Inside, ball 3, the count will be full. And a lot of junior girls playing baseball in South Australia this year. Are the numbers up in general?
Yeah, the junior numbers are up. Unfortunately, though, we've seen the Junior National Youth Championships not go ahead this year, unfortunately, and they didn't go ahead last year either. So, you know, we had a really good program running.
But a big pitch from Sarah Short. That's what they've done all game long, these Southern District Hawks. Get a strikeout when they need it most, and that was a big one on Lucy Mitten.
Yeah, it was, and especially in a situation where you've got runners on first and second, nobody out, and you're looking to move them into scoring position with less than 2. They tried for the bunt, it ended up rolling foul, and now you've got the top half of the lineup, and they're looking to drive these runners in.
Yeah, you fear that these 2 outs are at least getting one of Jenna Handy and Jenny Dunn out. The two Jens, do you call them, as they come in here? That has to be crucial with Prokopek and Maslin lurking around.
Yep, that's it. And third time through the lineup is always very dangerous. And you got a new pitcher, and it'll be interesting to see how Shorty attacks them.
0-1 count. Fouls this away, but she's got her in a dangerous spot, 0-2. But Sarah, you're saying unfortunately that's now 2 years though of a whole age group is basically missing their opportunity to play junior nationals. That's 2 years.
2 years in a row.
3. No, 2.
2 years in a row, and unfortunately the senior women also now after the cancellation of the nationals, which is disappointing.
0-2 count. Fouled away. So I guess question for both of you. You have the state women's coach here. You have the baseball GM here. How do you keep the top level of players in the state engaged?
Well, I mean, from my perspective, the conversations I had, I think yes, it is very tough, and it's a tough pill to swallow. But I think just kind of changing the mindset to hopefully developing something and trying to keep the positivity of the girls and continue to work and hopefully, you know, look at it as an opportunity. Well, instead of having 6 weeks before a tournament, now we've almost got 6 or so months that we can train and be as a unit and be prepared, so that when we go for it and we attack and we know that hopefully it's going to be back here in Adelaide, that we're 110% prepared for that opportunity when it does present itself.
And fortunately we have the ABLW still coming to Adelaide on the 3rd of April here, which is fantastic for some of our girls who will participate in that.
Yeah, I know on the preliminary list, and these lists are still updating, but the last roster that came out, there were 3 SA women on the team, and 2 of them are playing in this game.
Correct. Yep, Jess Maslin and Alice Prokopek. Absolutely, and Carly Moore was our 3rd.
Amazing stuff. That'll be an awesome event.
Absolutely.
0-2 pitch. Good battle from Jenny Dunn. Tying run on second base with a healthy lead. Pitch up high, brings it 1-2, just a patient at bat. But I think even with that showcase, I talked to Craig Handy in the week about it, and I'm sure you're just excited. It's a good pathway for those juniors we just talked about to the women playing socially, and even now in the Division I of a target to play if a professional comp comes around. Absolutely.
And over the Easter period, we still have the National Youth Women coming to Adelaide for a 5-day camp here in Adelaide. So we'll see 40 of Australia's best youth females coming in to train here at West Beach.
40?
40.
That's a pretty big number. So what kind of, and we'll talk about more after this pitch here, but I'm curious to hear what do you do in that camp to keep everybody engaged? I can't imagine that it's easy engaging a bunch of teenagers for as Jenny Dunn cracks this foul.
Look, it's a national showcase, much like the one that's going to be held in Canberra for the under-18 boys.
Right.
But I do believe they'll be doing a series of training and testing here at West Beach, some internal games, and just hanging out and learning the game of baseball a bit more.
2-2 count, big battle here, Gally, for Jenny Dunn. Goes behind 0-2, takes a couple balls, fouls them away. All the runs, all these RBIs have come off of these long, gritty at-bats.
Oh yeah, it has, and a lot of really good swings throughout.
Short deals, Dunn stays alive again. We're going into pitch 7 or 8 in a crucial moment for Glenelg.
Another one. And that's another good pitch spoiled right there. And that's the thing, it's the attitude of both of these teams that just makes this game so exciting, is that just that never say die and never quit. And they're really, both teams and hitters are competing. They're competing the best that they can for their team.
Big moment for Glenelg. Opportunity knocking, short, delivers. Dunn rips at that one. That was the pitch she wanted to hit.
That was it. Just past the line.
Yeah, she liked that one, I think. She's smiling.
Look at that, we got a foul ball delivered over to the commentary box.
Thanks, mate.
The 2-2 count, Jenny Dunn staying alive. A gripping at bat going into pitch number 8 versus Sarah Short. She hasn't come in an easy situation with runners on first and second, nobody out. Got Mitten to strike out. Dunn, the batter. And she strikes her out. Back-to-back strikeouts. Jenny Dunn not happy, but it doesn't matter. It's going in the scorebook as a strikeout looking, and Sarah Short exhales.
Big sigh of relief there. That was a battle for the ages right there. Two very experienced players right there, and unfortunately one was going to win and one was going to lose, and Shorty came up with an outstanding pitch right there, and now with 2 outs, see if they can turn this one back over.
Jenna Handy with 2 outs. They had a big chance early. Sarah Short delivers the first pitch. Sarah, you got to tell me, there must have been a bit of a buzz in the office this week about this matchup. Like, it kind of felt tailor-made. It's like that classic David versus Goliath story. Southern District's underdogs, Glenelg, the juggernaut.
Absolutely. To see Southern Districts come this far has been absolutely phenomenal for the women's game. It just shows the strength we have across the league.
Hit up high into center field. Jorgensen can't handle it. That's gonna score a run. The wind causing all sorts of havoc in the outfield. And with 2 outs, Glenelg have tied it up.
Well, that ball was hit very well, and you know, just held up in the wind, and you know, like we talked about earlier, you just can't give up on those balls. Looked like there might have been a little bit of miscommunication between the outfielders there, but now with the tie game and Alice coming up for her 3rd at bat of the game, she's really looking to make some damage here for her team.
Yeah, this is not the person you want up to bat with a runner in scoring position and 2 out. Crucial out here. Sarah Short versus Alice Prokopek. She watches this go wayside for a ball. Wow. Those are the kind of moments, though, that could come back to haunt you.
Oh, exactly, and that's tough mentally too as a pitcher, especially when you've done your job. Now it's time to take a deep breath, refocus, and try to get this this next out that's up here at the plate.
Prokopek takes a pitch. She got 2 strikeouts earlier, Sarah Short. So that run will go down as Maddie Schmitz. What a performance she had, the Southern District starter. She had 6 strikeouts. 2-2 game here in the 4th. 1-1 count. Short. Just high. You get a lot of patience from Alice Prokopek.
You do. She's a very smart hitter. She knows what she wants, and she's looking for something out over the plate. It looks like Southern District's plan this whole game is to pitch her inside, and that's why Maddie had success, was she was able to locate in, and now the 2-1 count. Sarah's got to come back over to Alice's pitch.
She scoops down low to put that into the outfield. Can they handle this one?
Wow.
And it is caught by Kat Widdison in the outfield. She's made a couple of those catches today. It keeps it a 2-2 game after 4 innings. My, oh my. Let's take a look at that replay again.
What an incredible catch right there. And that one being a lot tougher one than you'd think from center field. So, baseball gods played it out even. So for her to come up with that was big, to limit the damage and to keep that as an equal score. And now the excitement continues.
Yeah, going down into the final 3 innings in a tie game. It's picture perfect for a very good atmosphere here at Baseball South Australia. So, Sarah, this is your 2nd full season?
2nd full season, almost 2.5 years in the chair.
But it's your first full non-COVID affected. Well, it still was COVID affected, wasn't it? There was a lockdown. Like, this was an adventurous year in baseball land.
It's been adventurous since I began, actually, Eric, to be honest. We didn't get to see the grand finals played last year. The only grand final we really saw was the Don Rice League and the Division 2 women. So it's fantastic to be able to see this game played tonight, and everything crossed that we get through to the end of our regular season.
Only 1 more week to go, please. It just feels like it's always been lurking in the background too.
Yeah, we've got a series of grand finals over the weekend with our juniors, and then of course the rest of the grand finals will be the following week. So 2 weekends. It's
been a couple years now, a lot of adventures, a lot of adversity in the baseball community given everything going on. What's something that you've learned about this baseball community since you've joined our happy family here?
Baseball, it's very passionate. You have a lot of passionate people. They're very, the clubs are very close and very, they love the game, which is fantastic, and it's great to be around. I've learned a lot since I've been here.
You can feel it on a night like this when there's just boisterous supporters on both sides, even arguing the strikes. You saw that even at the Division 2 grand final at Kensington last week. Yeah,
it's pretty incredible. I mean, for us as a club, it was just an outstanding performance, having fans lined all the way up and down. And that's, it's a credit to these clubs and these people that are baseball supporters here in Adelaide. It's a wonderful baseball community, and it's, especially for me being an outsider from the United States, it's something that I very much cherish, and it's a very special part, and I'm very proud to be a part of this community.
Bianca Smith heads out for a 5th inning of work. Tash Straps, the middle of the lineup, is the batswoman. Takes the first couple pitches, 2-0. Southern Districts going toe-to-toe with Glenelg in this one. right down to the final stages of the game. Bianca Smith throws a strike. It's pretty crazy to think that, 6 years ago we didn't have a women's league, and now, like you said, we have people lining up for Division II grand finals down both sides of the field.
Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Chop this foul. 2-2 count. So what's the future of the women's game? What's the next step here in South Australia?
Well, we'd definitely like to see like a under-15 youth women's competition standalone next year.
Do you mean that like within the clubs?
Within the clubs, yeah, but it may well start like the women's.
Chopped up the middle. It's a base hit for Tash Straps. It's her second hit of the day. Wow. She's a big game player, Tash Straps. Had 2 hits, including an RBI in a softball elimination final Wednesday, 2 hits in a grand final on Saturday or Friday night. Good week for Tash.
Exactly, getting hot at the right times. And there's another leadoff base runner on in the middle of the lineup here for Southern Districts. So once again, another big opportunity for South to see how they go around this time, playing small ball the last inning of offense and see if they can push a runner across again.
With Ellie Tucker coming up to bat, Bianca Smith keeps her in check. Sorry, Sarah, an under-15 standalone competition. So we're talking like under-15 at Kensington, Goodwood, like Southern Districts and Glenelg.
Absolutely, because that's where our future of our women's sport's coming from. It's got to come from the grassroots. We've had a fantastic amount of women start the game through being wives or aunties or just women around the sport. They've got to start from our youth now.
And do you think there's a demand for that?
Absolutely, yep. And it may just start where we have nominations of individual athletes that would like to join a competition, and clubs may merge in that space to put teams on the field.
Tucker swings through that. So, I mean, I guess it all makes sense. You have more juniors playing baseball, keep them engaged, give them a pathway of even a professional league, and now all of a sudden you have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Correct, absolutely. And we all know that girls tend to drop out of a sport in general at a certain teenage level where they feel a bit inferior to the males, so we need to make sure they have a pathway of their own.
Tucker to right field. It's a bit awkward, and snow cone. Dana Aldwin had to fight that one, but what a crucial out that is.
Not an easy catch going back on a ball down that right field line, especially when it's going to tail and come back to you. So that's a very important first out there.
Here's a look at it again. You're going to see the ball here just pop up at the end.
Oh,
barely hanging on by half of a baseball.
That ball gets down, that trickles into the corner. That's runners on first and second with nobody out.
Deb Hutchings has an RBI. The first run of the game was driven in back in the first inning. Just a single to center field. She's the batswoman now. That's an interesting stat, Sarah. You just said that. Is that something that's real? That females, young females, drop out of sports at that mid-teen age?
Absolutely. There's a lot of study and research that's been done on body image and just the difference between the men and the women at that age. So yeah, we need to create an environment where the young females are feeling happy to be part of sport on their own.
Gally, as a club coach, thoughts?
Yeah, she's exactly right. I think
this is grounded over towards shortstop. It's a slow roller. Could be a tough play. Jenny Dunn scoops it up, fires across the diamond.
Wow, look at this dash.
And now it's a dash over to third, sliding in, aggressive base running from Tash Straps and Southern Districts. They get the out, but a run, the go-ahead run, is just 90 feet away. Talk about putting pressure on them.
And that's exactly what we're talking about, those little tricks up the sleeve. Going first to third on a ground ball to the shortstop, that's just aggression, and that's the way that they've been playing this, the last part of the year. They've just been playing that do-or-die mentality, and it looks like they're going to make a pitching change here.
Well, Bianca Smith had a very good start out on the mound. You talk about giving your team a chance to win. Only allows the 2-run, strikes out a couple batters, a lot of soft contact, but it was Southern Districts. They generated the run from exactly that, was that aggressive base running.
They have. And, it helps when you get a leadoff runner on consistently, and, they've tried multiple things. They've tried bunting, and that time they just went first and third on an infield play. So to put that pressure on and make special plays, hats off to Southern Districts.
Good pitching start from Bianca Smith. They'll hand the ball over to the woman that's closed out most of the games for Glenelg. It's Alice Prokopek. Now, granted, she's closed out most of the games when it's been like an 18-2 game. Now it's as high leverage as a situation as you're going to get. You got a runner on third, 5th inning, 2-2 grand final.
And I'll tell you what, she wouldn't want it any other way. She's got Izzy Lilburn behind the plate now. It looks like Jess Maslin is transferring over to third base. But yeah, Alice had predominantly been a starter, and you know, for her, it's a new role for her, thrown at the back end of the game. But she's always predominantly come in that position where when she's in the game, it's game over. So for her to come in a situation like this where it's tied and having that go-ahead run that Southern Districts has at third base, it's you know, it's a real testament to her and to step up. Now on Southern Districts' end, you know, it's a tough matchup. She's had a lot of success. She's improved a lot over the offseason. Her velocity and her off speed is very sharp and very fresh going into this game. So it'd be interesting to see, you know, how Southern District's bats go for the rest of this game on out.
Yeah, it's a completely different look than Bianca Smith. And Sarah, you've probably seen Alice around the ballpark quite a bit, especially in the last few months in this women's baseball season.
Absolutely, Alice is a figurehead of the women's sport, absolutely, and I think people would be nervous to be hitting her pitching, I think.
Yeah, that's a good word to use, is figurehead, and that's something that you don't, you know, I was around it when we started the Women's Baseball League 5-6 years ago, but it's something that you didn't have. You didn't have figureheads that were playing women's baseball because it didn't really exist at the top level. Now we've got to find those figureheads, and Alice is a perfect example of someone who that could be. Yeah,
absolutely, and we need to encourage more females to come up and coach our young women as well, because we still have a lot of, we're very male-dominated still. We have a lot of male coaches. I mean, Austin's one of our strong male coaches, but he's also coaching the female sport, which is fantastic, but we just need to see some women step up.
Susan Doyle steps up with 2 outs. Runner on third facing Alice Prokopek.
Oh, this is a pinch hitter.
Oh, it's a pinch hitter.
Yeah.
It's Charlie Young.
Yep. Charlie Young pitch hitting.
So some changes late in the game. Apologies.
Yeah. This is our first year playing baseball as a 15-year-old. I mean, why not go against the Titan Alice Prokopek in your first at-bat of the
This
Great
is
Final?
absolutely perfect with the conversation we've just been having with Sarah Kelly, who's joined the broadcast booth. We've got the 15-year-old versus the figurehead in the grand final with all the community sport out here watching.
I can't imagine what she's thinking right now.
Oh, deep breath, you got this.
Good girl.
1-2 count. The youngster versus Prokopek. Just staying patient on the 1-2 count. Keeps it 2-2. What a moment for Charlie Young. Young puts it in play. It could be tricky, but it's sure-handed Dana Aldwin, just like she's been all night long, makes the play a pressure play in a grand final and keeps the scoring run at bay. It stays 2-2. That could have been tricky.
Yeah, I mean, you're telling me. And especially on a ball that's hit to the first baseman and the pitcher's not covering. If that ball's bobbled, you never know. She could have made that and got a run. But for her to come up there and put the ball in play with 2 strikes, that's an outstanding job for, you know, a youngster that's playing baseball for the first time. So, you know, what a game so far. It's just been outstanding.
And Alice Prokopek gets the key hold with Jess Maslin going to be leading things off in the next half inning. Sarah, there's an interesting conversation point before that you had about female coaches in the sport. Now, there's a couple floating around. You saw Tam Harkin coaching in the Super League this year. You've got people like Alice Prokopek, who just pitched there. She's coaching a couple of the junior teams, I think the under-15s at Glenelg, or the under-13s. One of the two.
She's coaching the under-15s, and Bianca Smith is doing coaching the under-11s at Glenelg.
So what does Baseball SA need to do to help encourage the female participation in coaching?
Yeah, look, I think we've got some work to do in that space, and I think we need to take the lead on that and encourage the women to step up and know that they have a place in the coaching roles, along with other positions within clubs. We have 14 clubs, and at the moment only 1 female president. So we absolutely...
So it's about getting more female involvement, rather, from the coaches, from the just across the board, it sounds like.
Across the board, absolutely. And we've got some strategies in place that we'd like to implement in the off-season so that next year we can see some more females step up to the plate.
And how does baseball in the women's space compare in South Australia to other states?
Look, I think we've got a really strong league here in South Australia, and obviously with our girls getting a bronze medal at the last national championships proved that we actually have some good talented females in our state. And just live streaming it tonight, I've had some really positive comments on the game at the moment. So
well, it's a great game
fantastic.
to watch.
2-all. It's brilliant.
Well, we're here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's a 7-inning game, a 2-2 contest. Jess Maslin leads things off. Sarah Short back in for another piece of work.
Yeah, Jess Maslin, this is, to lead off the inning right here in a crucial situation in the bottom of the 5th, this is exactly who you want from Glenelg. 2-0 count, hitters count, can't walk her here.
She was intentionally walked in the last inning, just shows the respect that you have for Jess Maslin. She still plays softball. She's a long-time softball player, long-time state player for softball too. That's another thing. We're noticing a lot of softball players starting to play either both or just choose one or the other.
Yeah, there are, and that's a good thing to see on the state team as well. There's a lot of athletic softball.
Maslin, you can see the power. That is hit a mile in the air. It might be tricky out in the outfield, and Wendy Backman, those are the ones you have to bring in.
That's
and
it.
It's job done.
That's why you can never give up on a fly ball here. That ball you thought would be going way out to deep left field. She ran all the way in and almost caught it on the dirt at shortstop.
Bianca Smith comes up to bat, 2-2 game. You can feel the tension in the air just tighten up a little bit. Sarah, I'd be keen to hear your thoughts on this. Gally earlier in the broadcast and on the phone earlier this week was saying that this is by far and away the biggest source of pride, this game right here for both Glenelg and Southern Districts. This is chopped foul right towards us over in the broadcast booth.
Almost.
Almost. That this is the winner of this team. This is the one that they're hanging their hats on all season long by having the Division I women's winners.
Yeah, for sure. It's with only 6 teams in the Division I too. It's been a tight contest all the way through.
Bianca Smith, 0-1 count. They're swinging against Sarah Short right now.
Good pitch.
Really good pitch. I don't know how many people would have been predicting a 2-2 game at this stage of the ball game.
I'll tell you what, it's just been outstanding pitching, hitting, defense, all the way. You can't ask for a better grand final here tonight.
Bianca Smith, hard hit ball. This goes through the legs and into the outfield. That's where Sarah Short was before. She's now pitching, and that is a base runner for Bianca Smith. Here's a look at that again.
Yep, and a good job with 2 strikes, putting it in play. Anything can happen. At this stage of the game, you're just wanting base runners and good hustle, and now headed towards the bottom half of the lineup. They've been successful today, so let's see if they can manufacture a run, getting a run in from first.
It's Abby Jorgensen who's moved in to play shortstop now since Sarah Short has moved out. Two-two count. Sarah Short will have to keep her in check. She does have the 1 out. This is Erin Harris up to bat. I think that's what's been amazing is that you've seen women from all different age groups and walks of life pick up the bat and ball and play.
And I think this year it showed across our 3 grand finals, Division 3, 2 and 1, we had 6 different teams, 6 different clubs represented across those 6 teams and 3 grand finals. It's brilliant.
Yeah, that's wild. That's a good spread and a source of club pride for everybody.
Yeah, that's very important. I mean, because everybody, every team and every person wants to be playing on the last day of baseball, but you know what? If you have multiple teams and you have clubs that are getting that chance to bring home a grand final, that's what it's all about.
1-1 pitch to Harris.
There goes the runner.
Chopped up in the air.
Ooh, could be a double play.
This could be tricky. It's caught. Could it be a double play? Race to the bag.
Wow.
And she got her. Caught in between first and second. Ellie Tucker and the defense does it again.
Yeah,
Southern Districts keeps it 2-2.
And as you can see on the replay, that's the risky part about a hit and run is if you don't get it on the ground, it'll lead to a double play. And, you know, fortunately for Southern Districts, they're able to grab that and get out of the inning unscathed.
Well, Sarah, we're heading to the last couple innings. We'll let you go in a moment here, but I just wanted to ask a couple more final questions here about you've got women's baseball growing. There's now 3 divisions. We want to have a under 15 competition in this league. The social competitions are getting bigger. There's multiple divisions of Div 7 social competition.
There is.
It seems like it's not a silly question to ask, but I guess it's a hard one because we only have a certain amount of baseball fields in this state. So how do you accommodate for growth of baseball? It's a tricky one.
It is a tricky one, but it's actually a current topic that we are discussing at the moment. Where do we grow? How do we grow? And we really have to have clubs that have multiple diamonds at every club. So we're looking at expansion. You know, do we go further south? Do we go further up into the Adelaide Hills where there's not much baseball at the moment? There's a few different discussions on the table at the moment. Do we need to have lights at our grounds? We have no other facilities with lights.
That's true, because then you could play, that just adds more hours to the day.
That adds hours to the day and nights of play, new competitions, midweek competitions. There's a whole lot of opportunities if we could get lights at grounds. So we're definitely talking to state government around that kind of investment. So
it seems like, I mean, you're always going to have problems and challenges when you're trying to run a sport, but I feel like if one of your problems is too many people want to play from different age groups and walks of life, then that's probably a pretty good problem to have.
You just need to be able to accommodate them, and we've grown every year since I've started. We've seen a growth in our numbers overall, which is fantastic. And those Div 6, 7s, you know, they're the heart and soul of your clubs. They love just that social element to the baseball, so you've got to nurture that.
And finally here, before we let you go, what do you think the biggest strength of Baseball South Australia is? In the baseball community in general.
I was going to say the office.
The office. Well, I mean, just
apart from the office.
Apart from the office, but yeah, but
I think it's just it's a fantastic sport for all. It's an inclusive sport. Our clubs are very open to, you know, all walks of life, and we're lucky to have that.
Well, Sarah, thank you very much for joining us. We're on our final 2 innings. We thank you very much for stopping by on the broadcast and letting everybody know what's happening, especially in women's baseball. It sounds like there's a lot of fun challenges to try to tackle in the next couple. The off season's where you get most of the work done, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing that we can't handle, Eric.
Nothing that you can't handle, in a big week coming up with Caps Medal Grand Final coming up. Sarah, thank you so much for stopping by and joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
Gally, we're now down to the final 2 innings. Alice Prokopek on the mound. It's a lot closer game than I think either of us, well, you know what, I don't want to say either of us anticipated. I think I called Southern Districts with an upset win before the game, but it is a 2-2 game. I think a lot of people were expecting Glenelg maybe to wrestle away as the game went on.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the momentum has just shifted back and forth every other half inning, it seems. I mean, one player will come up with a great play, another player will come up with a crucial hit, and then all of a sudden double play, or fielder makes an outstanding catch, or uncircumstantial events. But yeah, it's just been a battle so far, and you know, with how well both teams have fought and how resilient and how wonderful a game this is. Unfortunately, there's only one winner, and you know, it'll be interesting to see, you know, who gets to pull out and has that lucky bounce or big hit.
Kat Whittison, she's had a pretty good game so far. But you're right, it's those momentum swings, whether it be, you know, Glenelg gets a leadoff runner and then they double them up in a little pop-up, and Whittison rips one to left field on the full count.
And another great piece of hitting there. In a 3-2 count, once again, battling, competing, fighting off some tough pitches, smoking a ball to left field. Outstanding, especially off of a great pitcher like Alice, and you know, to fight and get her pitch and put a good ball in play and give them some hope here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, it's been a pretty wild.
Oh, pick off,
and she got her.
Oh my, wow.
Dana Aldwin has had a fantastic game over at first base, but what a pickup from Alice Prokopek. How well does, walk me through this.
Wow, well, took her sign, come and set. The batter looked like she was squaring around, and you know, the runner just got too big of a lead, and Alice being as athletic as she is, with a very good, strong, quick pickoff move, that's just outstanding on her performance. To be able to have quick feet and a good, strong, accurate throw over there, I mean, That's not something you see every day.
Okay,
so
but that's
well on
courageous
her.
in a grand final too, because if Alice's throw is a little bit off, if Dana Aldwin can't take the pick, then that ball goes by and you have a runner in scoring position with no outs.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think defensively, when you have a runner on base with nobody out, you know that the offense is trying to move them across. So I think when she saw that she was squaring around, that she was just going to give a pickoff move to first base, and maybe Glenelg comes back with a bunt play. But fortunately for Glenelg, they got the out too. So it was a win-win for them.
That is a big-time play from Alice Prokopek. Over at first base, Dana Aldwin has, you know, she had that big steady catch over at third. She had that ground out that she had to block down to run over to third to retire Young. She's had a couple really big plays over at first base and so steady all game long.
Oh, yeah, and that's exactly what you want out of a first baseman. I mean, the best first basemen in the league are the ones that, you know, they save your team from errors. And, you know, that just goes to show right there, especially with somebody that throws as hard as Alice. If you have somebody that's not as handy like that, like you said, that ball could trickle through, and that runner goes from first to third in a big situation like that.
Izzy Lilburn now, the catcher. Jess Maslin, he said, moves over to third. Especially in the top women's game, so much versatility has to be required of all of these players.
Yeah, you're right. And it comes down to each switch too, because, you know, somebody like Jess, being back behind, when you're a catcher, it does take a toll on your legs. And, you know, to put Izzy in there to catch and move move Jess over to third base, that's something because, you know, at the end of the day, you really want Jess's bat in the production. So I don't know if that aids to it as well. Jess is a very good fielder. Too, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see, you know, Alice's success throughout the rest of this game. Good pitch.
Alice Prokopek gets Backman to chase, and it's quickly 2 outs.
Yeah, great pitch right there. And Alice works, you know, she works fast. She's got a good tempo, and yeah, very true competitor. And yeah, 2 outs now, and here's Kira. Here's the bottom half of the lineup, and you know, we'll see if Southern Districts can turn it over. If not, worst case scenario is they start in the 7th inning with their leadoff. So
Kira O'Brien. Well, one thing is for sure is that this game is going the distance. It's going the 7 innings, because let's assume worst case scenario for Southern Districts here. They don't get a run in this inning and then Glenelg score 5. We still turn it over to the next inning because they can't possibly mathematically win the game before the 7th.
That's it. And at the end of the day, this is what both teams deserve. You know, unfortunately, one of these teams has to go home, you know, 2nd place runner-up, and one team's going to be the winner, but both clubs and both teams and all of these girls and coaches should be very proud of their performance today. So hats off and well done for them.
Glenelg has been to, call it 3 straight grand finals. They lost in the grand final in 2019 to Sturt. They qualified for the grand final last year before COVID eventually claimed the shield, let's call it. And this year, they were the best team wire to wire and qualified for a 3rd straight grand final. They've said that this is a grand final and a win that they're waiting for 3 years in the making. Hit hard, over to Maslin. It'll test her out. Bobbled, throw across the diamond, and Aldwin again! A great pick.
And there's the defense. And there's the defense that you're talking about. That is a very tough play. And for her to go down, scoop that ball up, and save your third baseman and your pitcher, that's just remarkable. That is not an easy play. And that was a very in-between hop as well.
I'll tell you what, Dana Aldwin might be getting a few quick looks for, or a few votes from whoever's deciding the MVP of this game. She's been fantastic at first base.
That is just outstanding. And being a current first baseman as well, that is one of the harder picks that you have over there. In between hop, palmed it, snagged it, might have got tripped over, but held on to it for the 3rd out. And whatever it takes at this stage of the game, well done for her. Way to pick up her teammate.
These teams have been mirroring each other all game if you're just joining us. And in the 1st inning, it was a 2-out single to Deb Hutchings that scores a run. A 2-out double to Jess Maslin for Glenelg, tied it up. They blanked each other for the 2nd and 3rd innings, almost batting in the same kind of lineup. In fact, in the 3rd, both teams had runners on 1st and 2nd with 1 out and couldn't score the run. And then in the 4th inning, Southern Districts scored, and then Dana Aldwin ended up scoring the tying run in the 4th inning. Both teams scored in the 4th. Defensive plays on both teams marked the 5th inning. And then in the 6th, it was a 1-2-3 inning for Southern District's batting at the 7, 8, 9 spot. And to start the 6, you know what's starting for Glenelg? The 7, 8, 9 spot. Both these teams are literally just exchanging kind of jabs, punches, but nobody's really landed that big uppercut, have they?
No, you're exactly right. And I think the most exciting part is whatever happens this inning, you're still probably going to have the top or middle part of the lineup coming up for both teams. So I think at this stage now, you've got Shorty on the mound for Southern Districts, you've got Alice on the mound for Glenelg. Both teams, you've got your basically, you know, your go-to people that are out there for you. So just however long this game goes, it's just going to be an exciting finish. So the battle of these teams is going to be whoever can come up in that crucial moment.
It's had excellent moments that you've wanted from a grand final. You've had those big 2-out hits. You've had big defensive plays. You've had excellent pitching performances. Let's not forget the strikeouts. Like Southern Districts has 8 strikeouts as a team, 2 from Sarah Short, 6 from Maddie Schmidt starting. So you've had big-time pitching, big-time defense, and big-time 2-outs hits in a low-scoring game. I like these low-scoring ones. It means you do have some runs, but not too much that it's a blow. It's good baseball.
That's it. That's what makes it a chess match, because now, you know, now the talent obviously gets you there, but there's some decisions to be made, especially if you get runners on base here. So now it's a small ball. What do you play? And this is where the fun and interesting strategy of the game comes into play. And you know, both pitchers are trying to get ahead, get that leadoff runner, and on the contrary, the offense is trying to get that first runner on base.
Dana Aldwin is 1 for 1 with a walk and a run. She's played excellent first base all game long. If she gets a hit here, she's going to be getting in those minds of that voting panel for the MVP.
Yeah, she's really had a day, and she's really stepped up and
But that's what you need in a grand final, right? Because you always look at those big superstars. And Jess Maslin had the 2-out double, Alice Prokopek pitching well on the mound. And those superstars almost cancel each other out in those big games, right? Like Sarah Short, Alice Prokopek canceling each other out. Bianca Smith, Maddie Schmidt canceling each other out. But it's the ones that are on the peripheral of that need to step up in the grand final.
100%. And this is what could seriously make the entirety of your baseball career is moments like this, because they don't come by in the regular season, I'll tell you that. And if you can step up, no matter what happens in the regular season, you can become a hero in the postseason. And that's what's so exciting about playoffs, but also in a grand finals moment is, you know, a play here or there or an outstanding clutch hit that can take your team to victory. That's something that you can cherish for the rest of your life. And that's what makes baseball so special.
1-2 count. Sarah Short came in back in the 4th inning. Now she's into the 6th. Looking for that call. Southern Districts want it. Glenelg say right call. 2-2 count. Just dips away. Very patient at bats, and you can feel both the crowds wanting to erupt for their respective clubs.
They're ready. They're ready. This is a huge pitch right here. Nobody on, nobody out.
A patient walk, and she's on base for the 3rd time today, Dana Aldwin.
Way to grind it out. I mean, that's an outstanding team at bat, and getting what the pitcher gives you there. They're going to give you first base. Now this is where the decisions are made. Do you lay one down? Do you run? Do you try that hit and run again? You tried it last inning and hit into a double play. So now it's, you know, do you be aggressive or you just try to wait it out and be patient through this part of the lineup?
Well, Craig Handy said, as this pitch comes in, he said that the thing that Glenelg's most improved on from the beginning of the year is their base running and their situational base running. Well, you're not going to get a bigger test than this right now.
No, you're exactly right. I mean,
let's not forget, if Glenelg go up here, then they're just 3 outs away. We could be wrapping this thing up in 15 minutes.
You're exactly right. And for Southern Districts, they do have 1, 2, 3 in their lineup. But with Glenelg right here, they've got 8, 9, and then the top of their lineup as well. So they're looking to score some runs, and very interesting part of the ball game.
Big pitch delivered by Sarah Short brings the count 1-1. Jackie Dunn is 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a walk. The leadoff runner got aboard in the last inning. Kat Widdison before Alice Prokopek gunned her out. Ooh. Here's a hard hit ball over towards first. Ellie Tucker knocks it down. She's gonna have to battle to get it up, and it's runners on first and second for Glenelg.
That was a big piece of hitting right there. She really drilled that ball. Outstanding for the first baseman to knock that down. That could have easily went down that right field line, but you know, tough break because that could have went either way. You could have got the out at first, could have potentially had a double play, but you know, that's momentum and that's baseball. Now with runners on first and second, nobody out, 9-hole, it'll be interesting to see what Glenelg does here. I'm expecting a bunt.
Izzy Lilburn is the new batter. This is her first at bat of the game. She came in for Jess Maslin earlier in the game.
There she squares, and she gets it down.
It's a good bunt. And a throw over to first. They make the play. Ellie Tucker was covering home, but they get the out. That was job done from Izzy Lilburn. Puts runners in second and third for the top of the lineup in Jenny Dunn.
And she did her job right there. Moved the runners over, put it in play, got it in fair territory, and now you've got a situation here where you got runners on second and third, one out. All Glenelg has to do is put a ball to the outfield and scores at least one. So now the pressure's on. You do have a base open, so you can afford to be picky, but at the same time, it's going to be big. You're looking for a strikeout or you're looking for a soft ground ball that the infielders can hold that runner at third.
Glenelg might just need one more run. Then they'd be 3 outs away from a maiden grand final title. A 1-0 count. Huge moment in the ball game.
Oh,
lifted.
It's coming back
to second, and it falls in. Glenelg take the lead late in the game. Jenny Dunn drives in a run. It's 3-2.
Wow, big time hitting right there, and especially with the infield in, that ball finds a hole.
Yeah, they had to play aggressive defensively, and they found that soft spot in between second and right, and Jenny Dunn with an RBI to put Glenelg ahead.
And that's the timely hitting that we're talking about. Infield in the situation that they had right there, it was, you know, not perfect, but circumstances with the infielders in, and they're playing that do or die situation. Now you got to go for that.
Did someone get out though? I don't see anyone on the base paths. So Jenny Dunn got aboard. So it might be 2 outs now.
She didn't go first.
Jackie Dunn still over at third. So she might have tried to go first to second, and we might have just missed an out, folks, watching at home. 2 outs on the board, no one on the base paths. Run is scored, so it is a 3-2 game. Or was it called an infield fly?
No, because the runners on second and third.
Yeah, and the runner scored. So we've got 2 outs on the board, which changes it up here. It's a crucial out. You need to get Jenna.
Here's the replay. We'll have to see what happened. I saw.
You watch the replay, I'll call the action.
Yeah, you call the action here. 2-1 count.
2-1 count as you watch the replay there. 2-1 count. Short about to deliver the pitch to Handy. Called strike. Good 2-2. Crucial to get this out with Alice Prokopek standing on deck. Glenelg, though, are 3 outs away. Regardless of what happens here. They'll head to the 7th with a lead. It's not if they'll have the lead, it's by how many. Drops down low, count going full. Dunn will have a lead.
And that's outstanding batting to lay off of that. That's a tough pitch.
And she just stays alive. The battle continues with Jenna Handy.
Staying alive. Do not want to give any free bases to this batter right here with the dangerous Alice Prokopek on deck.
Well, Dana Aldwin has scored the tying run. She's scored the go-ahead run. She's not got out in this game. She's 1 for 1 with 2 walks. On-base percentage of 1,000. Oh, driven to center field. Moving under it, and it drops in for a hit. Jenna Handy has put Glenelg up by 2.
What a piece of hitting right there. That was well done. Outstanding. Way to battle. 3-2 count. Coming up, getting your pitch, and just line the single up the middle to center field.
They'll have a moment to talk here as it makes it a 4-2 game. 4-2 game with 2 outs. A wacky 6th inning here. They've got to keep this just to 2 runs because Southern District's still very much in this game. Prokopek settles in with a runner on first. Danger part of the lineup with Prokopek, Maslin, and Smith, the next 3 in order. Glenelg, 2 runs and 3 outs away. Prokopek takes the first pitch strike. You were sort of waiting for Glenelg to explode in 1 inning, and this is the inning it's become. I know it's only 2, but it's the biggest total in an inning per game. That drops in. Prokopek behind 0-2. She's been behind 0-2 before and generated a hit. She's 1 for 3 on the game. Struck out, flew out to right field. And she has a hack at that. Goes foul. Gal, if you're Southern Districts right now, important to not get too rattled by this. You've still got 3 outs to work with.
No, you do. That's the thing. You've been getting the leadoff runner on base most consistently. You've got the top part of the order coming up. Now, it's very important right here to try to get the center with limiting the damage to just 2 runs and see what your offense can do for you in the 7th.
Prokopek watched that all the way go outside. She's had a big game too, Alice Prokopek. That pickoff, was in that last inning. That helped shift the momentum back in Glenelg's favor.
Oh, you're exactly right. And these are the pressure situations right here. Big lead at first.
Looking to add some insurance. Gonna try a pickoff over at second. Good job of Jorgensen to cut that one off.
Now Alice has worked her way from an 0-2 to a 2-2 count.
And a runner in scoring position.
And a runner in scoring position.
Prokopek with a big swing, but a big miss. Glenelg score 2 runs in the inning, and they are now 3 outs away from trying to claim a maiden championship. Can they do it? We'll find out after the break. A wacky and wild inning puts Glenelg up 4-2, heading to the 7th inning, the last inning of this game. Glenelg 3 outs away from their first club championship, but the plucky Southern Districts Hawks are never out of a fight. They've got the top of the lineup going. Alice Prokopek, one of South Australia's 3 players and the women's showcase players, on the mound right now. Gally, they say the last out in baseball is the hardest one to make. What about when a championship is on the line? Does it become even harder?
It doesn't get easier, that's for sure. So I'm expecting it to start to get a little bit louder, but Alice has been waiting for this moment for a long time, so.
Yeah, Alice is someone who would want the ball in this moment.
And this is a situation where you just, the nerves, the adrenaline, everything is pumping. You got to take a deep breath, slow the game down, and one pitch at a time. That's all you can control.
A very reachable score. Just 2 runs. Jorgensen, a good swing at the first one. Aldwin tracking over that. I wouldn't be surprised if she could make a play on it the way she's been going all day.
She wanted it, that's for sure. Good effort.
Glenelg have only allowed an opponent score 3 or more runs, or 4 or more runs score. That's what they need to get to on 3 different occasions this year.
Yeah.
So they don't allow a lot of runs. So scoring 2 going to be a tough task, but anything can happen when a championship on the line. Jorgensen up the middle. It's a hard hit.
Oh.
Can they make the play? Throw to first. They made the out.
What a play right there.
Jackie Dunn.
That first step was outstanding. For her to get to that backhand and field that cleanly, that's a big first out for Glenelg.
It was right up the middle. A great effort from
I
Prokopek.
think it might have deflected off her glove. She might have saved that one. I'm not sure. We'll have to watch that again. Oh, close.
What a play over at second.
First pitch strikes. That's what you like to see here for Glenelg.
Versus Sarah Short. She's got a single and scored in the game.
Big time opportunity for here. Southern Districts needs a base runner bad.
Chopped in the air. Izzy Lilburn had a look at it. And for a pitcher on the mound, Alice Prokopek, surely just getting that first out, especially when your defense makes a play, that has to take a bit of the tension away.
It does settle you down. Yeah, now's the time for Southern Districts. You know, they're down 0-2 right here. You just gotta battle and compete. That's the most important thing right here. Alice is pumped up. She's gonna be looking to deal.
She's ahead 0-2. Prokopek tries a bit of off speed, goes in a bit high. She's pitched 2+ innings. Only allowed a couple hits. She's been really good. That pickoff play changed the whole momentum of the game back in the 6th inning.
Looking to blow some heat by right here.
Again, grounded over towards Dunn. She scoops it up across to first. It's a close play, and it's another solid play. 2 straight 4-3 putouts. And Glenelg is just 1 out away.
Big time right there. Alice attacked the zone and got soft contact. And to do that, top part of their lineup, now with 2 outs, looking to step up here.
Look at it again on the replay. 2 outs,
Great
Tash
location.
Straps up to bat. Glenelg's 6th inning heroics looking big right now. Do the Hawks have one more push left in them? They've done it all season long.
What a battle it's been.
0-1 count. Prokopek. High. Prokopek sets again. And Tash Straps fouls that away. Glenelg 1 strike away from lifting that shield.
That's it. All about who wants it right here in this moment.
Straps trying to keep the plucky Southern Districts Hawks in it. Prokopek, the 1-2 count. Lifted foul once again.
took a bit off that one. That was well located as well. So I think she's setting her up to either expand a little bit more or maybe hump up here with a fastball.
Southern Districts have pushed Glenelg to their ultimate limits all game long. Prokopek 1 strike away. She was looking for it. It's called ball, and a nervy one to leave off with a championship on the line.
Just a bit high.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Prokopek to Straps. Straps in play. Maslin fires across the diamond. And it's champagne for the Tigers. The best team from start to finish cap it off with a Division I Baseball South Australia Championship.
Wow, what a game.
They were pushed and prodded from the get-go, Gally, but somehow they found a way to win this game, and you can see the emotion on these women's faces.
It just makes it that much more sweet. I mean, to have the season that they did and to win the way that they did tonight, I mean, what a storybook ending for them. Well done for Glenelg, but also well done for Southern Districts on a great season, too.
Yeah, they battled. They took an early lead, 1-0. Glenelg responded, but every time that Southern Districts had a lead, Glenelg had a response.
And they did, and that's the resiliency of a club, and that's, you know, you don't get to be the top team in the league just by accident. It's the little things that win the games, and it's the little things that win you championships, and you know, for them to get runners on and then to capitalize with some big clutch hitting with runners on second base and to score those 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th and to make the plays right there was, you know, well-fought win and well-deserved win for Glenelg.
And Gally, any thoughts on maybe a player of the game that stuck out in your mind?
Oh man, there was a lot of clutch. I think it could really go to quite a few girls. I mean, there were some unbelievable individual performances, great clutch hitting. I don't know. It's a toss-up right now. It could go to a bunch of people, but you know, there were. I think at the end of the day, every single player contributed to their team, and every single player does have a lot to be proud of, and both clubs represented themselves outstanding today. And what a performance here for baseball and baseball
right.
in SA.
It felt like a big team performance across the board, whether it be 2 great pitching performances from Smith and Prokopek or the defense from Jenny Dunn. But how about Dana Aldwin? Some great plays over at first. She scores 2 runs, including the tying run and the ended up winning run, and doesn't get out. Just a fantastic performance.
That's it. She was a catalyst. She was on the base paths every time, came up with crucial runs. You know, saved the innings, made some great plays over there, good catches. Outstanding performance by her as well.
A big reception from both teams, and that's where we will sign off. Glenelg win a classic game as you take a look at the final out made. It's the Tigers 4, the Hawks 2, and a championship for Glenelg. For everybody at Baseball SA, I'm Eric Ballner. Thank you very much, Austin Gallagher, for joining us. We'll see you next weekend for the Division I Men's Grand Final.